Looks like we're back. Looks like we're back. Today we're going to be talking, I'm going to be dealing with one of the things I think that we should talk about, which is when it comes to being a single, how do you know you're truly being pursued? And this message, when I say every single person, I believe every single on the face of this planet, every Christian single, I think I need to designate it there. Every Christian single on the face of this planet needs to listen to this message, especially in today's day and hour. I came on here about 10, 15 minutes ago, and I closed out because typically I schedule in advance and I can see the difference, as opposed to when I schedule in advance versus when I didn't schedule. So I wanted to make sure that people had enough time to prepare themselves. I know that, whenever I'm getting ready to go live, a lot of times you want to make sure that you get your popcorn, you want to make sure that you get your snacks and whatever it is you feel like you need. And if you don't got it, I would say please go and get it. As always, do me a favor, be sure to like and share. I'm going to share a story time. I'm going to share something with you that happened to me probably about, I won't say a year ago. I think it's been a little over a year at this point, but I'm going to talk about the lesson that I got from it. I'm going to try to help you or what have you. If we have time, I may engage in the chat a little bit, but I believe this is going to be good. It's going to be necessary. I believe that this is going to be revelatory, may even be a little bit hilarious. Um, Now, I want you to hear me when I say this. None of us are exempt from mistakes. And one thing about it is we're going to almost always have those moments where we come back and realize, you know what, I need to get myself together in this area. And that's the purpose of a mistake. The purpose of a mistake, like stumbling, is for you to know that you don't have your shoe on properly. Or you may not have tied your shoes properly or what have you. The purpose of stumbling is for you to watch where you're going. And so that's the thing. I'm going to share something with you guys. Like I said, I don't really have any notes with me, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to share with you 12 reasons why an individual might be pursuing you. Now, you may say, well, Tiffany, I don't got nobody pursuing me right now. You're in good company. But realistically speaking, we know that that's not going to be forever, right? We know that at some point, somebody's going to be pursuing you. And I want you to be able to navigate your single life. I want you to be able to navigate your single season properly so that you don't waste a lot of time. I'm going to say this. A lot of times, if you have been single for a long time, you can get to a space where you can be being pursued and you'll turn off every ounce of discernment. You'll lower your standards and do all that. Brother Andre, thank you. God bless you. Love you. Love you. You can turn all of that stuff off or what have you. So I want you to make sure that you are aware, you're cognizant, you're conscious, or what have you. I'm trying to wait for 5 more people to come on here before I share this. And like I said, this happened, I will say over a year. I will say over a year ago, but I'm questioning whether it's been 2 years or what have you. But I'm not going to share the entirety of this story, just a little bit, a few snippets or what have you. And then I'm going to share some of the things. Now, I want somebody to do me a favor, write in the chat false pursuit. This is what I want you to be aware of when I tell you every single person on the face of this planet needs to listen to this. Every single on the face of this planet needs to listen to this. I want you to write down the word false pursuit. That's what we're going to be dealing with today. I want you to understand that everything where there's truth, there's a false. There's a such thing as a false pursuit. There's a such thing as a false pursuit. And I want you to understand when you're falsely being pursued versus when you're truly being pursued. If you don't know the difference, you will waste a lot of time, especially for women. You will waste a lot of time. If you don't know that, okay, this guy, and this is not just for women, this is for men as well. If you don't know that woman may be entertaining another dude and you ain't it for her, you will have false pursuit, right? And I want you to, one thing about it is, now let me say this. When you get into the world of business where you don't have a whole lot of time to throw away, you will get to a space where you hate wasting time. I genuinely, wholeheartedly, passionately hate wasting time. I get annoyed at wasting time. So as I tell you this story, get your popcorn. You're probably going to want to laugh because this was a mistake that I made. Okay, let's go back. Like I said, I think this happened, I would say a year and a half ago. I had a guy that had, and the reason I'm talking about this, let me say this. I got up kind of early today. Not too much, not too early. We finished my office for the most part on yesterday. Even though two office spaces, the media room and my personal office, the walls are, they kind of still bare and plain. And as we were finishing up, my interior designer, she was looking, she was like, hey, I want to come back and we can do something else with those walls. You got enough pictures hanging up on the wall that I don't want to necessarily do pictures. What do you think about doing feature walls? And I was like, okay. So she said, I'm going to shoot you some stuff. I'll shoot you some ideas, and then we can talk about doing that. So she said we can make, arrangements, and then I'll come back. We'll come back next week and we can do it. We're happy. So I had an amazing team that came out. That was Daniel and Jasmine. Don't necessarily want to say their last name, but I will say they are the husband. His tag on Instagram is DRGRA8TEST. If you're looking for somebody, now he made some custom frames for me. He made some custom frames. Now he did the work. He did 99% of the assembly up in there. He put together all the stuff I'm talking about. He's been doing it, and his wife, she's been doing the interior design or what have you. She's coming up with it. When I tell you the space looks amazing. So we're pretty much done. Besides the fact that we're deciding to do 2 feature walls or what have you. I went back today because she gave me a list of things that, like I had a vase that needed some flowers up in there. She was like in that bathroom in the corner sink. She said you need to get maybe put a plant over there or what have you. And so that's that. What was I just talking about? I was just talking about them coming to my office, but I had a reason for sharing that. Oh, I know what it was. So when I was getting dressed today, I got up and I decided I wanted to just kind of do a message, right? And then I decided at first I was going to do a message for my students. Initially, I went to the voice memo feature. Then I decided I was going to do a message for my students, and then I was getting ready to call assistant Christ. But I remember I ended up in a voice memo on my phone. The voice memo is like where people have left you voice messages and stuff like that. I think I was trying to call my sister in Christ. And I ended up on the voicemail thing on my phone. And at first I didn't realize where I was. So I scrolled, and that's when I came across I saw this dude's name. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh, and like I said, this is somebody that this is what I call a false pursuit. Well over a year ago. I saw, an old voice message that he had left or what have you, which tells me I need to clear out my voice messages because they're just here. I can scroll down these things for days. Anyhow, well, no, I can still, I guess but anyhow, I listened to the message and I laughed. I listened to the message. It's a message I heard before, right? But I listened to the message and I started laughing. I was laughing because in the voice message, dude was giving me like 764 excuses as to why he hadn't called me. He was like, and it was the silliest of excuses. Like it was the silliest excuses. And I sometimes I think to myself, do people not follow me here and truly listen to what I teach? And so I'm like, it's the silliest of messages. So one of the things, and men can attest to this, when a man is interested in you, you will know it. Men are very diligent creatures. When a man is interested in you, there's no confusion about it. Can I get an amen from the brothers? There is genuinely no confusion about it. If you're confused, y'all, you gotta like and share. If you're confused, you're not being pursued. If you're confused, he's genuinely not interested in you. And so you may be dealing with a false pursuit. When a man make it up in his mind, I like you, I want you, there's something about you. Now, there's a difference. Please hear me. There's a difference between a man that says, I want a girlfriend. There's a difference between a guy that says, I want a wife. And I don't know if I want you, or you. That's a difference. Because then, yeah, he may not have time because he's having to spill himself out all over the place. But when a man locks and loads on you, there is no confusion. There is none of that dude coming for you. Okay. So let me tell the story, and I'm going to try to make sure I don't give any identifying information. So this guy, I've never physically met him, but I've worked with him before, like 10 years ago, like some time ago, right? I worked with him back in the past, what have you. He annoyed me back then. I remember that when I worked with him, he got under my skin. He annoyed me back then. So he started reaching out to me probably about 8 years ago. And he was like, he would always say, hey, I need a logo. he would always send me this instant message and say, hey, I need a logo. And I would always instant message back, like, my website is this, and this. All you got to do, just the steps, like real quick. And then I just close the chat. And let me say this: his chat was typically be, "I need a logo. Can you give me a call at this number?" And I would get annoyed. Like, why do I have to call you? Just go to the website. It's that simple, right? Because it did dawn on me at first. It didn't dawn on me. I just thought that this is a person that sometimes when people want something cheap or free, they try to establish a personal connection. He would always say, "I need a logo. I need a logo." So I'm sitting there. I get annoyed. Probably about 5 years of this. Every year, maybe once a year, I get that same message from him. Can you give me a call? I need a logo. So I think it was like, since Octavia, I love me some you. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you. I think it was like 2016 or 2017. I get a message from him. Hey, I need a logo and I need some work done. Can you please give me a call? He lists his phone number again. And I'm putting Tiffany on blast, okay? He lists his number again. I get, he lists his number and he said, can we schedule to talk tomorrow around this time, or can we talk today around this time, or what have you? I finally agree. But hear me when I say this, I'm on Attitude Street. I'm on Attitude Street because in my head, in my heart, it's like, what the heck do you want? Now, I think I can speak for the majority of women on in here. I don't like being confused. I hate it. I hate when people confuse me. I hate mind games. I hate all of that stuff. It annoys the crap out of me. Sister Brianna, I love me some you. Thank you, sis. God bless you. Brianna, thank you. I love you. But I hate being confused. I hate mind games. I'm a direct communicator. As a matter of fact, stay tuned. I'm going to be launching a class. It's going to be a part of Vision where I'm going to be teaching healthy communication. When I tell you that's my passion, when I tell you that is that is one of the reasons I'm here, is to teach healthy communication. I love, love, love healthy communication. That's my baby right there. And so I like to teach people healthy communication because the majority of people on the face of this planet have never been taught healthy communication, so they don't know how to do healthy communication. They think I got to play games, I got to navigate this, I got to manipulate, I got to do this. They don't understand that healthy communication is just basically giving people the sobriety to make a decision, right? It's basically me telling you, like if a man comes up to me and he says, hey, I like you, want to get to know you better. And I'm like, okay, cool. And we get on the phone. He says, I'll be honest with you, Tiffany, I kind of want a woman that's untouched. She's a virgin, or close to being a virgin or something like that. Healthy communication, me saying, hey, I'm not her. Okay. I was in the world, right? I did some crazy stuff in the world. I'm not her. So I think you should move on. That's healthy communication. Unhealthy communication is me saying, yeah, well, I've only had 2 guys in my life, that's unhealthy because I'm lying. I would be lying. So healthy communication is me being upfront and giving that man the sobriety. Yeah, did y'all? Please don't go deaf on me. Don't get quiet on me tonight because we're gonna talk. Me giving him the sobriety to say, I appreciate that. I'll bow out. Have a good day. You be blessed. That's it. However, when you do the unhealthy way, you set yourself up for the D word, divorce. Anybody got a nasty mind? You set yourself up for divorce because ultimately your lies will be found out. Ultimately, your lies will be found out. It's always better to just be upfront and say, hey, listen, I did some shady stuff. I've done some things I regret. And even to say, this is just a part of healthy communication, and I'll get back in the story. I did some shady stuff. I'm not going to lie. And I'm ashamed of it. I don't really want nobody to know about it. That's if you're pursuing. Now, you don't owe that to everybody, but I'm saying, as you move, as you're talking, as you're navigating, even this is not just for romantic relationships. This is for every relational type. Friendships. I am very open with my friends. I am not the type of person that they say, you okay? Mm-hmm. No, I'd be like, girl, no. Because I didn't like this, what you did. Like, don't do that. I'm going to think about it. I have a process I call sorting. I'm not going to go through that because I've already taught you guys about sorting before. But I love it when I have friends that are direct communicators. I got one sister in Christ. When I tell you we are like 2 bulls, we have rammed heads so many times. Just sit there, boosh. Because at the end of the day, she tells me what she think about me. I tell her what I think about her, and we just be like, boosh, boosh, boosh. But you know what? As much as we clash, it's healthy communication. Because you know what I'm not doing? I'm not holding it in and talking about or behind her back. I'm gonna get this chat to move over here. I ain't lying. I'm getting off here. I'm gonna get this chat to move. Y'all ain't gonna be dead on me today. Y'all gonna be alive. Okay. That unhealthy communication is keeping it in here and being bothered by it, and then calling up another friend and saying, "Let me ask you a question." So this girl did this, and my friend, okay, you already know who I'm talking about. She did that. Which That's unhealthy. Why you telling me? Tell her. Why you telling me? You're supposed to tell that to her. Healthy communication is saying to that friend, after you sat down, prayed about it, thought about it, found you in the equation, after you sat back and said, okay, here I am in the equation. This is because I need to make sure this is not a reaction on her part. Let me go ahead and do my version of the sorting. That way, when I come to her, then I can talk to her. The only way you will learn to do healthy communication is when you start to value relationships. You cannot do healthy communication if you don't value relationship. Somebody who doesn't value their relationship with you does not want to communicate. I'll throw this in pen. Somebody who doesn't really care about you does not want to have an extensive conversation with you. Now, granted, if you've proven your conversations to be toxic in the past, then yeah, they're probably not going to have a conversation with you because they don't really want to go through tears and tears, just for you to get to the point. Healthy communication is when you learn how to get to the point. Healthy communication is when you start taking accountability for your part and your role in your own pain. Healthy communication is when you can take accountability. Healthy communication is whenever you find that a person is wrong. Is when you find that a person is wrong, you don't hold it over their head and control them with it. I just saved somebody's marriage. I'm telling you, you don't hold it over their head and control them with it. Because there's a time in every relational dynamic where the other person is going to do something wrong. And you have that smoking gun in your hand and they're at your mercy. And they're willing to do anything to prove it. I'm not talking about romantic relationship. I'm talking about every relational type where they feel like I'll do anything. You can't use that power when you find it in your hand. You can't use that. That means, yes, I could control you. I could dominate you. I could squash you right now, but I'm not going to do it. Let's get back into the thing I was talking about. Okay. So this guy, going back to that thing, like I said, he's been reaching out to me time and time again saying, hey, I need a logo. So here it is, like year 5, right? It's like year 5. And this is like the 5th, 6th, 7th time I got a message from him. Can you call me? And I'm like, dude, all you got to do is scroll. This is what's going on in my head. Like, all you got to do is scroll. It's right above. I gave you what to do. So then I'm like, okay, at this point, I'm like, what the heck do you want? What do you want? So I decided to call, or we set up a schedule. We get on the phone. And I'm on the phone annoyed. Big mistake. You don't do that. I'm on the phone annoyed. And I was like, how can I help you? He said, yeah, I'm looking for a logo. And then he started mentioning, he started talking to me personally, like, where you at now? I'm like, in Georgia. He's like, okay. And he was like, the Lord's told me to come to Georgia. The Lord wants me to move to Georgia. And I'm like, okay. Because in my head, I'm like, get to the point. In my head, I'm like, get to the point. And he was like, yeah. And then he said, I'm looking for my kingdom spouse. That's when annoyance went to 10. He was like, I'm thinking about moving to Georgia. I got to find me a place to stay there. My annoyance went, Erica, you're awesome. I love you, beautiful. I love you. My annoyance level went whoop through the roof. Because what I heard, and this will help the men out. This, you got to understand. What I heard may not be what he was saying. What I heard is, I'm playing mind games. I don't know how to directly come to you and communicate. So I'm showing you right now that I'm manipulative and I'm a coward. And by the way, I need somewhere to stay. Might not have been what he was saying, but that's what I was hearing in that moment. So I get annoyed. I said, okay, let me go ahead and answer everything. As far as the logo, I've already given you the direction. You can go back to the chat, go to this website. The instructions is there. If you want to buy one from the store, they're already ready. You choose one you want. If you want one from if you want custom design, the process is that. As far as God telling you to move to Georgia, congratulations or what have you. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I'm like, okay. And I said, as far as your kingdom spouse, I'll be in prayer for you or what have you. Is there anything else you need? I was a little bit hard, like really rash in that conversation because I'm like, don't play games with me. I hate it. I like it when somebody come to me and say, "Excuse me, hey, I'm checking you out." I like that. I like most women are like that. Most women like direct communication because most women we are quite naturally. Please tell me if I'm wrong because y'all ain't gonna leave me hanging. Most women are created or the way God created us is not like cowards. If you're a coward, you start looking like this. Y'all ain't gonna leave me hanging. Y'all ain't gonna be staring at me tonight. Y'all just not gonna do it. We don't like that. No woman likes to go home confused. Was he flirting with me? I think he was flirting with me. No, he wasn't flirting with me. No, no, I know what I'm being flirted with. Most women like direct communication. That right there says I'm strong. And I'm gonna pray. But that right there says I'm strong. I'm not a coward. Most women don't like cowards. Please let me know if I'm wrong, ladies, because I hate when I hate if you leave me hanging over here and it's almost like a goldfish staring out of the aquarium. Please don't be a goldfish on me tonight. Okay, thank you. I just needed to. I needed the validation. I guess I needed somebody to tell me. Most women that I know, no women likes guessing games. Not women don't like that. It's annoying as heck. We like and to the men. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. But most women like direct contact, right? You waste a lot of time with the mind games. That's 20 minutes to get to a freaking point you could have gave me in a minute. Thank you, brother Andre. Thank you. God bless you. Sister Kayla, thank you. God bless you. Love you, sis. That's 20 minutes to get to a point we could have got to in 1 minute. Or maybe I'm wired like a dude. Because that's how men are. You know, men, you got 2 minutes to make your point, and that's it. I'm not the only woman wired like that. I know I'm not. Most women like direct communication. We like to get to the point. I don't want to hear Jodeci in the background. I don't want to hear I don't want to play all these games just for you to get to this stinking point. I don't want to be high. Just tell me what you want to tell me and let me make a decision from there and respect my decision. That's it. Okay. Going back to it. When I got off the phone with this guy, I literally, at first, I didn't feel anything. I went on back to work. I probably was mumbling. Like, I ain't got time for that. What these Negroes think? These ninjas out here in these streets, they got to learn how to talk to them. What the heck were you? What, did your mama sit you down and tell you? Because I tell you right now, if I have a son, the woman that get my son going to be thanking the Lord. Because I'd be like, first off, don't do that. Oh, girl doesn't like that. See, when I was growing up, my mom talked to me like that. My mom said, there ain't no man gonna want a woman that keep a dirty house. Don't no man want a woman like this. My mom talked to me like that as far back as I can remember. I remember being 5 years old. How do I know I was 5 years old? Because we moved every year. When we lived on Solomon Street, I was 5 and 6 years old. When we were on Solomon Street, I was standing on a chair cooking greens. So I remember that my mom was instilling because that was what was instilled in her. She was instilling that in me. Whenever I kept my room dirty, thank you. You're beautiful, sis. Thank you. So when I got on the phone, I'm a little bit annoyed. All right, I'm a little bit annoyed. Um, but I think it was probably a couple of days later. It could have been a month later. I don't remember how much later it was. I had a moment of regret. I had a moment where I started thinking, and this is where you get into the oopsie daisy. I had a moment where I started thinking, maybe I was rude to him. Maybe I was not nice to this man. Maybe what if he was my kingdom spouse? And I said when I got on the phone with him, I pretty much just like if he was scared to approach me, I just made him that much more scared. So I started thinking like that. I started having that moment. And I had it in my head. I said, well, let me go to his page and message him and just reach out and say, hey, I'm sorry. And then I started thinking about there was a dynamic that was present in his life that I can't mention. that I started thinking about. I got the same dynamic. So I started looking like, we look like we matching. Then I started thinking, oh God, what if the Lord is speaking and Lord sent this dude and I done pretty much just cut his head off and what have you because of my thing. So I went to his page. I went to his page and I had it in my head. I'm about to message him. So I navigate on over to his page. This is Facebook. I navigate over to his page. I want to hit the message button because when I go to his page, there's a picture of his girlfriend up. Picture of him and his girlfriend. So I'm thinking this is probably like a couple of weeks, maybe a month later. I go to his page and message. I see a picture of a girl behind him holding him, and I was like, oh, the Lord answered me that one on that one. The Lord cleared that real quick. The Lord, I'm talking about all of that confusion, everything, it dissipated, and I went on about my life. I said, okay, all right, it's not me. And even if God was saying something, he did what he did, I did what I did. It is what it is. I'm gone. And what have you. So I moved on with my life. About a year later, I get another message from him. Hey, I'm looking for a logo. I never want to choke somebody in my life. And I'm like, all you have to do is scroll. We got like 7 years of messages of you saying the same thing. This is like, and I think I ignored that message. And then finally, it was last year or year before last, either way, he sends me another message. Excuse me, I'm looking for a logo. Can you call me at, can we set something up so we can talk? And I decide, you know what, Tiffany, that ain't how you play. I hate mind games. Get on the phone with him and let's just be direct. Can I talk to my sisters real quick? Y'all got your ears to the hear me. Don't play mind games with people. Just be direct. I don't understand the whole navigating and moving around this word and that word and having to do all of that stuff. It's just bull crap. So we get on the phone. We set the schedule. We get on the phone. He starts telling me about his logo. He need a logo. Then he throws in there, and then I'm praying. I'm in prayer for my kingdom spouse, and I'm like, okay, all right. So I let him. I remember him mentioning 3 things, but those are the 2 things that were highlighted. I think it was something about branding stuff he needed with his business ministry or what have you. I said, okay. So let's deal with the logo first. I've been telling you over the years, go to my website. All you gotta do is go there, choose the one you want, and you can purchase it at the store. Or you can order a custom design from the website. It's that simple. Is there anything you're looking at particular? I don't remember if he said he saw one he looked at particular, but we talked about the logo. So the Gigi, I love you. God bless you, sis. So then we talked about the logo. We got that out of the way in less than 5 minutes. So then I got into the other stuff and then moved over into the kingdom spouse. I said, the kingdom spouse, like, what can I help you with that or what have you? And he was like, I this and that. And I'm like, uh-huh. So we started talking. We started talking about relationships. We started talking. We're talking. About 20 minutes into it, I decide I'm tired of playing games. This is a part of me my mom used to like and hate at the same time. I decide I'm tired of playing games. I don't want to be on this phone for 3 hours and we just playing around with words. So I'm going to call this guy Freddie. We're going to call him Freddie. I said, Freddie. He was like, yeah. I said, let's stop playing games. I am the logo. I said that. He was like, what? I said, I am the logo. You've been reaching out to me for how many years now? You ain't ordered the logo yet? And he started laughing on the phone. He's like, I was like, I am the logo, obviously. I said, okay, let's just stop playing games. Okay, let's just stop that, because I'm thinking to myself, you big and grown, it's time for you to man up and just really be direct and say what you want and just stop with these games, because I don't feel like playing Russian roulette with your brain cells. I just don't. I didn't say all that, but I'm saying, I was like, I am the logo. Okay. So he told me, he said, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little curious. He said, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little curious. I said, well, just say that. And he was like, talking about how blunt I was or what have you. I'm like, I just don't like the games. I just don't like the mind games. Just Let's just go. Let's talk. So we're talking. We talked for 6 hours. We talked for 6 hours that night. We talked for 6 hours, and I'm thinking it was a really good conversation. I'm thinking, okay, cool. All of this, finally, talking to somebody. Can't put a label on it because we barely know each other, but the conversation was good. He says, "I'll call you on tomorrow." Right? He says, "I'll call you on tomorrow," and he gives me a time in which he's gonna call me. That could be cute, but it could be annoying at times because why are we making schedules to talk? I don't understand that. Typically, when you're talking to somebody, you just call when you're available. But I'm thinking maybe he's a businessman because he's that. Maybe that's the reason why he told me he's gonna give you a call at this time on tomorrow. Okay, cool. Now I'm an entrepreneur. I Because I'm an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur for well over close to 2 decades now. I want to say this. I hate when people waste my time. I have to make that confessional. If there's a Catholic priest in the room, write it down, okay? I hate when people waste my time. I genuinely hate it. If you tell me you're coming to a call and I'm scheduled to be on a call with you at 4:30 and you come at 4:35, I'm annoyed with you. Okay, I don't like when people waste my time because typically I'm always working. So whenever I have a schedule to do something, I have to stop everything and I have to prepare to get on the phone with you. And then, I've already kind of cut that slot out to talk to you, right? I hate when people waste my time. I just hate it because my time is valuable. I got too many things to do than to sit up and play. So the time he said he was going to call, I cut that time out, which meant I had to go. I went to work. I did all this stuff, try to organize everything so that I can make myself ready to be on the phone because I don't know how long we're going to be on the phone. So I cut the time out. He never called. I'm not calling because he said he's going to call me. That's not pride. It's respect. Because I don't know. Maybe he get off at work this time or what have you. Maybe he had to work over. I don't know. He didn't call. I'm like, ninja. So the next day, we move into the next day. I get a text from him. I do apologize. No, I get a text from him. He said, "Hey, I'll give you a call tonight, same time." I said, "Okay." We get on the phone. Well, no, he didn't call me that night. He didn't call. I ended up calling him. I don't know. I remember when we finally got on the phone. I said, let me make something really clear. I am not the type. I don't like that kind of stuff. He was like, "What were you talking about?" He was like, I got busy." I'm like, "I don't like that kind of stuff. You didn't even have the decency to text me to say, 'Hey, I'm running late. I'm running.' Well, I came home and I did this and I fell asleep." You obviously don't follow me. Obviously, you can't. There's no way you can follow me and play that game. There's genuinely no way you can follow me and still think that, because I either that or right. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I don't even cuss no more. So long story short, to kind of get out of that happened. We had too many hard conversations. Like the time we talked, that little time we talked, it was just me fussing. And one day, probably about 3, 4 days into it, I decided this is annoying. I can't do this. Like I'm not gonna be on the phone talking to him. And I told him, I said, "You're obviously not interested." I said, "Because you're not genuinely pursuing." He was like, "How are you gonna say that? I barely know you." I said, "Negro, stop. You're genuinely not interested. So I'm going to spare you." So I'm not, I'm basically, I have to let him know, "Hey, we're cutting ties. I don't want to deal with you. You only got to deal with me. That's it." Few text messages and all that other stuff later was just the same old stuff. I am interested. How you're not giving me a chance? I'm like, I gave you a chance. There is no pursuit. So please understand, when a man is not pursuing you, it's because he's pursuing somebody else or he's pursuing something else. You ain't it. But his pursuit of you is what I call, what we were talking about, false pursuit. False pursuit. I went ahead, put the benediction in my head. I locked that door, moved on in thought, or have you. I let him went ahead and fade away. Every once in a while, he would send me a text message. I would respond or I wouldn't respond. And then finally, he just fell away. That was it. Now, that was a false pursuit. No, 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 no. I almost thought I was about to close that story out prematurely. I started feeling bad because I had had a dream about him. I had a dream about him. And in the dream, and this is when I was, we were still communicating. I had a dream about him. And in the dream, we were chatting with each other on the computer. And in the dream, he said, the Lord says he can trust you. That was it. That was the entirety of the dream. That's what I can remember, was that he was on it was like I could see him on the laptop and he was chatting with me. He said, the Lord says he can trust you. So that kind of reeled me back in for a moment because I'm thinking, okay, maybe the Lord is speaking. The Lord gave me this dream or what have you. I told him about the dream, which was probably not the brightest idea or what have you. Sister Kiara, you're beautiful. Thank you, sis. God bless you. God bless you. But not long after that, like I said, I went ahead and cut ties because I'm like, this can't be God. Because, like I said, there is no confusion as it relates to a man. There's no men are the surest creatures on the face of this planet. I'm trying to see, was there another part to that? Kind of feel like it was. I feel like it was. Oh yeah. This is the part where I felt silly. So after all that, the enemy started making me feel like I was playing games with this dude. He didn't say that. The man didn't do that at all. I started feeling that in my head. I started feeling that in my heart. I had one day where I started thinking like, he never said he was pursuing you. You told him you were the logo. He never said this. He never said that. What have you? Now, we did talk about all his branding needs and stuff like that. He never said this. He never said that. You put that. You the one told him about the dream you had. It's almost like you're doing the pursuing or what have you. Then I started feeling like I was being manipulative or what have you. I started feeling, and I kid you not. Please hear this, and I'm gonna get into the lesson. I literally started feeling like I owed him something, and I'm not talking about sinful. I felt like I had put him between a rock and a hard place. I felt like I had done something wrong. That's how you know it's the enemy. I felt like I had done something wrong. And I felt like to accommodate for me putting him in that space when it is clear he just wanted a logo, I needed to give him a free logo. Please listen, don't run because it didn't happen. Okay? Spoiler alert, it didn't happen. The Most High God don't play. So I reached out and I was like, hey, I owe you an apology. I reached out. I'm like, I owe you an apology. I owe you this, and that. And we get on the phone. Oh, happy. He get on the phone, and I've already kind of got it in my head what I want to say. Like, hey, I owe you an apology. You reached out to me. You never said anything besides you wanted a logo. I think I stitched too much stuff together, and I came at you. And the whole time, he's not saying, no, you're not wrong. No, you're wrong, Tiffany. No, he's like, it was almost as if he was waiting, right? Like he was waiting, like, And I was like, so, just because of that, I do apologize. And this is what I was finna say. I was about to say, I'm gonna sew a logo into you. And I'm gonna do I think I was gonna offer the branding. And when I tell you I don't want to say never, but when I say I heard God so clear, the Lord said, you better not. Right when I was talking, literally, as it's rolling out, as I'm rolling it out, the Lord said, no. As I'm rolling it out, as I'm getting ready to let that thing flow out of my head, onto my tongue, and into his ears, the Lord said, no, you better not give him anything. So he's on the phone. He was like, He's just listening, just receiving, probably look like this. Just let it loose. And then I said, I apologize. That was it. I ended that call last time I spoke with him. No, I think I spoke to him another time. He reached out and what have you. I ended that. I left with my dignity. When I say in that moment, I learned such a valuable lesson. What I did was I decided to take my toenails out the dating game for a moment because I'm just like, obviously, I need to clean these jokers off or something. Because how is it? I was so mad at myself. And I'm saying this, I have to be transparent because there's some of you that feel that right now. I was so mad at myself for not being discerning. I was so mad at myself. Now, false pursuit. What is it that this guy wanted? To me, it was clear as day. He wanted Brandy. Now, he may have had a curiosity about me. I'm pretty sure he did, but for the most part, he was looking for a lot of branding work and stuff like that, and likely didn't want to pay for it. I'm gonna keep it real. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that 100%, but that's the case. He wasn't bad. That's his method. Sorry, that's his method, or that may have been his method. Some of you, a lot of you, especially women, a lot of times you don't understand a false pursuit where a person feels the need to pursue you to get some type of benefit from you. And instead, what we have a tendency to do is we get flattered at the fact that we're being pursued. And I know I'm speaking to somebody right now on here that's being pursued, and you have yet to see what is it that he wants. Sometimes the first question that you got to have is, what do you want, ninja? What is it that I have that you want access to? What is it that I have that you're trying to get access to? Because sometimes you got to figure out, are you looking at me or are you looking around me? Is there something that I got that you want? Could it be? Because I don't even have this one on my list, but this is a bonus. Sometimes you could be dealing with a pedophile that's looking at your kids. Sometimes you could be dealing with a pedophile that's looking at you. Got a little boy, and he like, you're such a beautiful woman. And you don't worry about your son's father. And I know he ain't in his life and all that other stuff. You want to know, are you looking at me, or is there some type of benefit you are looking to extract? This isn't just for women, this is for men. Because y'all get used all the time. And y'all be okay with being used. And that's the craziest thing on the face of this planet to me. I've never understood a man that is willing to get in a relationship with somebody who's not interested in him, but there are financial benefits to being with you. So you're willing to be in a relationship where you're not loved or respected just because a woman got some type of need. I can't. Somebody can make, I ain't found nobody yet to make it make sense to me. I just haven't. I have not found a person on the face of this planet. I believe that would be $1 million book for anybody that want to take that idea. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if you do and you make $1 million, all I'm asking is that you sold probably what? So about 50,000 into me, and I'll be satisfied. Buy me a new car, okay? Buy me a new car. I got my car. I like my little technology car, what have you, but come on. And I ain't say no use. I said buy me a new one. What is it that he wants or she wants? That why is a person pursuing you? Sometimes, and this is outside of my notes, sometimes people want power. You can have a powerful man that sit back and he wrote a couple of books and you wrote a few books and he said, we'd make a great power couple. That's all he wants. He don't want you. He wants the aesthetics. He want to be on a flyer with you. He want to do presentations with you, but he don't want you at home. He'll probably request to sleep in a separate bedroom at home. Y'all won't have much of a love life at home. Y'all will be distant because he's not looking at you outside of the flyer, outside of the conference, outside of the events. What the heck do you want? And you got to ask yourself the same thing. What do you want when you're dealing with a man? What do you want? Because sometimes you'll find that what you want ain't what you need. Sometimes you'll find that what you want ain't what you need. What is it that you want? Is it just attention? You want somebody just to give you some attention, and you've been love starved for so long, and you finally get some attention, and you just don't want the attention to go away. What the heck do you want? Because somebody got to hear this. The minute you get what you want, you're fulfilled. That person is there. They're trying to be there forever in some cases. So you done got satisfied. Okay. Is it after 12? No, it ain't nowhere near 12. Okay. I was gonna go PG. I was gonna go rated R on y'all. But I'm gonna go there anyhow. Think about sex. For all of the non-virgins out there. Once the big O is over with, everything else is cloudy. Not cloudy, you're clear. Get off me. That's your thought. Okay? That's a thought. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't feel like playing games. I know this is a Christian channel, but let's be real. Christians have sex, okay? Once it's all over with, said and done, yes, I'm talking about marriage, and you shouldn't be having sex outside of marriage. But once the big O is done, you're just hoping for the other person to finally squeal and roll over. Okay? That's how. Because right there, you reach the climax. Right? You reach the climax. So now it's like, How long? So you start gauging the sound. Dang, it sounds like he got a long time to go. Or it sounds like he got about 30 more seconds he should be out. I'm saying to say, once you have, if you get in a relationship for a benefit, once you get the benefit, you've climaxed, you're done. So the other person, you may not treat them right because you've already extracted the benefit. You've already extracted the benefit. The benefit is no longer there. So now, once you extract the benefit, it becomes the same thing if you're having sex. You know how you sober up in that moment? You become sober. Then you start in your sobriety, you realize he annoying as heck. He annoying. In your sobriety, you realize this dude don't talk about nothing but babe, I was walking down the street and I saw this man playing video games and he had that new Power Range. I don't know what people play on video games. He does talk about video games. Do you have anything in depth to talk about? Uh-huh. They got a new Mario Brothers. That's what most relationships, that's why they end. It's because the minute the honeymoon stage is over with, the minute you get what you're trying to get, or you realize that what you're trying to get is not there, you climax. Then you have that sobriety moment. What are you good for? Are you good for conversation? Nope. Okay, if you're not good for conversation, what are you good for? Sister Kiara, I love you. God bless you, sis. Thank you. I'm about to go take a dump. Oh, you take plenty of those. Do you have anything that you are bringing to the relationship? Because quite honestly, I've been single for 9 years. I don't want to get in a relationship and be single. I don't want to be married to a man who's locked up in a bedroom playing video games. Because I'm right back on the single market, but I got somebody, and that's annoying as heck. Are you going to get to? I'm on this last level, baby. I'll break your game. No, I'm sorry. Let me stop. I'll break your game. I ain't gonna lie. Just a moment to the brothers. Don't nobody put a mad face on me. When I was young, I was I don't think I was married to this dude yet. I'm gonna get back into this. I don't think I was married to this dude yet, my ex-husband. No, we were married. We were freshly married. We were freshly married. He was addicted to video games. And man, my little 20-some-year-old self, that ain't what I planned. You know, that ain't what a woman dreams about when she thinks about marriage or what have you. I remember being mad. I poured water in his game. I was toxic. I did. I tried to break his game. I tried to send that thing to his maker. Cause it was like me in the game but competing. I'm like, you should put a ring on the game. You should drill a hole in the game and have your fun with the game because this is where your heart is. This is where your attention is. I was annoyed, and I remember I don't know who called the cops. I think it was him. I don't remember who called the cops that day. And this is just an intermittent. This is just a little commercial break. I don't remember who called the cops, but I remember all I had on was one of his shirts. That was it. It was two black cops that came out to the house. I remember they were really handsome. I was toxic. I wasn't intentionally toxic. I was broken, which is what made me toxic because yeah, I did. I tried to destroy his game. I remember trying to baptize his game. I remember while he was in there playing, I got water and poured it in the game. I was like, yo, we're not about to do this. So cops come, they come in there, they're talking, and one of the cops, they start talking to each other. The cops are looking at me. These are two tall dudes. And one of the cops said, and maybe because I was half dressed, and I did that intentionally. I was already dressed like that. I decided not to put no clothes on. I was mad. I think he called the cops about his game. And the cop said, man, I'm telling you, my wife was looking like that. She wouldn't have to tell me get off the game. The other one said, hey, man, I started feeling real good then. I was like, come on. I'm walking around the house. He was like, shoot, he was like, man, I'd be in a bedroom, in the kitchen, everywhere. So they made jokes about it or what have you. But they left all of us were in the house laughing. And that's that. But that's that. Sometimes people are looking for safety in relationships, but I got a list, so I don't want to jump. So I want to help you to understand pursuits, okay? I want to help you to understand pursuits. I want you to understand whether you're dealing with a false pursuit or an actual pursuit. And just because it's an actual pursuit doesn't mean that you're supposed to be caught. I have to say that. But I'm saying if you are ever confused, every single woman has been confused at some point with some dude, right? Especially with today's batch. You know, sometimes with today's batch of dudes, every single woman has had that moment of scratching your head, like, what the heck? Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this. What do you want? And this, I'm going to use feminine phraseology. Basically, that's the only way I can think to say it. Where I'm going to be talking to the women about men, but men you can take it and twist it, and you can turn. And I'll try to see if I can navigate it. But I just hate going between the he's and the hers. It can be a little bit complicated. Okay, so first thing, why would a man pursue you? What would make a man pursue you? I got 12 reasons why a dude will pursue you, and these are going to represent most of them going to represent false pursuits. Okay. The obvious one is sex. The obvious one is sex. Yes, you can and will be pursued for sex. You can, and I have a whole theory about sex as to why it drives men crazy. Why is it that a man will go through so much just to have sex with a woman? Why would a man go through all that? But I have a theory about that. It's still in the oven cooking, and once I get that thing out, it's gonna blow your mind. Once that thing get through developing, it's gonna blow your mind. I have a theory about that, and I wanted to grow from being a theory to where I can back it with some relevant scriptures and information. But what the Lord has placed in my heart so far, it has been powerful. But sex, men can and do pursue you for sex. Women do it as well, guys. A woman can pursue you for sex. I remember sitting in a car with a girl, beautiful girl. You would think, for me, sometimes when I come in contact with women that, this girl, beautiful, abnormally beautiful, had a shape Hollywood would have paid for, right? And she was so broken, she didn't know her value. She didn't know what she could have. And I remember she was sitting in the car and she started talking about some dude. This was like 20 something years ago, 15, 20 something years ago. And she was talking about, I saw that dude. I was like, I wonder what he working with. And I turned to look at her like, wait, what? And I was older than her. I am older than her. I'm like, you think like that? She was like, I was looking at them feet. I was like, he working with something. And I was like, you literally will sleep with a man just because he's handsome? And she started backtracking. She was like, no, I mean, I'm like, but even to have that thought, I don't look at a man and be like, oh, you fine. I want to see what you're working with. You know how many dudes you got to sleep with just because they look good? That's just nasty. I'm sorry. I don't like calling stuff. I don't want to say that's improper and you shouldn't do that, woman of God. No, sis, that's nasty. How many STDs do you want? Because STDs don't care about what a dude or a woman look like. How many demons do you want? Let's talk about that. You know there's a such thing as sexually transmitted demons. And demons don't respect condoms. Sorry. Demons don't respect condoms. They don't care nothing about your condom. It's a spirit. It don't care nothing about your little lambskin condom, your little latex condom, whatever type of condom you got. It doesn't care anything about your condom. It doesn't care if you went in the kitchen and got yourself a latex glove because you couldn't find a condom. It doesn't matter. Demons care nothing about condoms. The minute you sleep with somebody, their demons become your demons. Sorry. You're gonna have matching demons. Sex. Sometimes people can give you what feels like a real pursuit because they're curious about what you are like in the bedroom. And for those of you who are abstinent, that it becomes even more of a pursuit because I'm 9 years abstinent. So you can only imagine when a dude hears that, them ears perk up like 9 years. I want to be the one. And the reason for that is there are the theories and thoughts about that. But then, too, typically when a man wants to break a woman's virginity or he wants to take her off of her abstinence journey, it's genuinely because men theorize, and not just men, but men theorize that if I sleep with you, you'll be crazy about me. Tell me I'm lying. You couldn't tell me. You couldn't even look me in my eye and tell me I'm lying because I'm not. You be straight crazy about me. Then I can show you how crazy I really am. And you won't even notice it. You won't even care because you just be locked and loaded. You'll be so deeply and madly in love with me. You wouldn't even know what to do with yourself. You would disregard your own mama. You would take your own animal and put him in the animal shelter. You would do whatever because if you 9 years, 9 years, it's the same thing for 2 years. There are theories that people have regarding that. You've been off the market. I've been getting my experience. So I can take what I learned from watching porn and doing to other people, and I can do it on you. That's nasty. That's not you having an intimate encounter with a person. That's a person that just got off one person and now about to show you what they did to the other person, to that person. Am I the only one that think that way, or do I need therapy? Am I the only one that think that way, or do I need therapy? Let me know. You want to take what you did to old girl over there and do that to me because you think I'll be whipped. Okay, I'm good. Thank you for. All right. They want you. It is true, Sister Danielle. They want you to be crazy about them because once the minute you get to the point where you get crazy about a person, they feel like I can take off my mask now. I can show you all of my fears, my problems, my anger, my insecurities. I can take off my mask now, which is why a lot of men will rush you into a sexual relationship. They'll keep trying to navigate into the sexual relationship because they crazy. It's like all the issues is like, okay, we can't keep planning. I can't keep pretending to be normal, ma'am. I can't keep coming at you saying, "How are you? I hope everything is well your way. Did you eat today? Okay, it's good." No, they want to get on the phone and be like, "Where you been? I hope that ninja you were with. I wasn't with the ninja. I was at church. What the heck are you talking about? Now you with the ninja. They want to unleash the crazy, but they can't let the crazy out until you're locked and loaded because they know if you're not locked and loaded, you're not locked in. You can easily discard. There are some lurkers on here. There are some lurkers on here, and y'all looking at me. And you know, some of y'all, you got a new lady in your bed right now, and you just got sexed up. But there's no love there to cover you. Love covers. It covers a multitude of sins. Love is designed to cover. There's no love in that man for you. Sex. Some people come after you because they want your booty. They want to have sex with you. This big old mama auntie conversation that you should have had. It's just sex. And let me just say this before I move on to number two. Because somebody on here, you've allowed yourself to be somebody's bedroom buddy, and you like, well, even though we had sex, I know that ain't the deal with me and Tyrone because Tyrone called me back, and he's supposed to be coming over here tonight, and he gonna come over here tomorrow too. Just because somebody have sex one time doesn't mean they're gonna stop having sex with you. Some people will continue to keep having sex with you month after month, year after year until they're tired of you, or until you get rid of them, or until you die. As long as you're willing to give it up, they're gonna show up to receive it. It's like food stamps. If you don't make people work, guess what? They ain't gonna work. Sorry. If you don't put some standards down there. If you don't put some down, you gonna keep showing up. You think if I go out there and get sexually involved with a dude, you think if I sat there and said, I don't believe in what we're doing is wrong, but I'm gonna do it because you showed up at my door and I feel bad. You know, I don't want you to have driven over here for anything. Okay, I don't want you. So then put on the song, There's a Meat in My Bedroom, go upstairs. And I gotta repent after this. Do you think he gonna care about me feeling bad? Do you actually think that? No. He'll give me a pep talk, a pat on the back, a kiss on the forehead, whatever he feels like I need. Get me up in that bedroom. He gonna do his thing. 3, 4, 5 years from now, he'll be right back at my door. Same old thing. He already have There's a Meat in My Bedroom playing on his phone. We can skip past all this other stuff. By that time, I'd likely be smoking. And I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. Probably a cigarette. Head upstairs. He gonna stop? He gonna get married, have 4 kids. You think he gonna stop showing up? Unless he got some character, he love the Lord, he fear the Lord. You think he gonna stop showing up? No, he would show up to that door. He wouldn't even care if I was on a walker. I'd be like, Tyrone, I can't get up the stairs. He'd be like, I'll help you. You raggedy too. How we supposed to get up the stairs? He'd be like, we ain't got to go up the stairs. You got a whole couch. But Tyrone, my hip. Okay, sex. People can and will pursue you for sex. The last part I was talking about is that as long as you keep having sex with him, he's going to keep showing up. Same with the women. Men, sisters do be wanting y'all. They be wanting y'all thing. Okay, they do. They be want to have a little bit of sex. Okay, a whole lot of it. Number 2, people pursue you for clout. I talked about that earlier. Clout. If somebody, and this is more so if you're an influencer, or let's say you're a lawyer, a doctor, or somebody that's doing some stuff, people can and will pursue you because they're doing something too. And they feel like, again, we talked about this earlier, you make a power couple, or maybe they haven't achieved much of anything and they feel like they should be at the top. Because I've had females that pursue you. Like as a woman, you have females that try to pursue a friendship with you because they feel like they're called to have a popular YouTube channel. And because their YouTube channel got 33 viewers, they try to connect with people that got a lot of y'all don't want to talk about that. People do that kind of stuff. So if you got females that pursue females for that, guess what? You got men that pursue females for that too. And women that pursue men for that. Clout. People can and will pursue you for clout. They can and will pursue you for clout. I want to move past that one. Number 3, self-esteem boost. Sometimes people don't want you, they want your attention. It just makes them feel good. If I can get your attention, if I can get your attention, that makes me feel better about myself. If I can get your attention, yours, if I can get your attention, makes me feel good. You ain't got to be a big nobody. It's just the fact that you're pretty. Or it's just the fact that you have confidence. I don't know who needs to hear this, but a lot of women don't understand this. Confidence is attractive. Okay. Sorry. We find confidence in a man attractive. They find confidence in a woman attractive. Sometimes your confidence will override everything else. We just like confidence. Okay. But sometimes if you got a lot of confidence and what have you, if you seem unattainable, if it seems like no man could conquer you, sometimes it can become a thing where somebody it's just an ego boost. It's just, I want to see if I could get you. Could I nail you? Could I secure you? I'm saying the reason I'm giving this list is because once a person get what they want, they gone. Once they get what they want, once they get what they're coming for, your history lesson. Or understand, sometimes people don't exit the relationship physically, they exit mentally, morally. Sometimes self-esteem boost. I tell women this all the time. Well, Tiffany, there's a man in my church and he just keeps flirting with me. And, he looks at me, I look at him. Every time we make eye contact, he stares at me and what have you. And I'm just like, I stare back at him and I drop my head and he looked back at me and what have you. And, he walked over to me one day. He feel the need to be touchy, right? He feel the need to touch. Girl, that man wants your attention. If he's not pursuing you, he ain't interested. That's the reason why. And y'all are in here right now. I promise you there's somebody in here that's done that. That's the reason why he showed up with another female. He knew how to pursue the one he wanted, didn't he? Why is it that you think he can pursue the people he wants? He didn't want you like that. He just wanted your attention. I just help you go through deliverance, honestly. I just gave it to you clear. I always tell you the truth, don't wear condoms. That's why. Come on. If that's you, just put the praying hands up, because let the other women know you ain't ashamed. I've been a dummy before. We've all been dummies before. It's okay. We've all been crash dummies. At some point, we've been crash dummies. And you know what? You can look back on those crash dummy moments and laugh, okay? Because you didn't die in an accident. You looked at somebody that was flirting and he flirted and he flirted some more. He flirted some more and he flirted some more. And you did what most traditional women did. You waited for him to pursue. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You waited and waited and waited. And every time you saw him, you gave him a little bit of extra. You even gave him the Miss Seeley smile. You know the smile when you look down and then you go bearing your all your whites. If you got all of them, you just bore your teeth. You did the whole night. You did it all. And he looked at you. He smiled. He winked at you. Smile. He winked at you. He smiled. Got you all confused. Now you at home having dreams about him. You confused. You got it in your mind that God is telling you that that's your husband because he parked in the church. Thank you. I love the honesty. The ones that are dishonest, the ones that are not, because they're still in deception. No, Tiffany, I know what the Lord said to me. And I know I rebuked this in the name of Jesus. We have 5 people that ran. Listen, I rebuked it because it couldn't have been me, Tiffany. I know he want me for real. Girl, men are the surest creatures on the planet. If he wanted you, he would have pursued you. No, but I think he intimidated Tiffany. See, in my region, the men are real scared. A man is never too scared to get what he wants. He'll go in that store and get that video game, won't he? If he a hood head, he'll show up at the shop with his income tax money. Instead of buying diapers, he'll go buy rims. He know he when he wants something, he gonna go get it. Sorry. Yeah, y'all see the problem is y'all never had that auntie or that mama, that cousin or that big sister. You ain't never had nobody to tell you direct. It would have saved you, listen, about 5 years of your life, 10, 15 years of your life would have been saved if you had heard me back then, because you wasted a lot of your time waiting to be pursued by somebody who was not interested in you. He just wanted your attention. It was a self-esteem boost. You made him feel good. It made him feel good because you're pretty. It made him feel good because you keep smiling. And you know what? You weren't the only person he was doing that to. All up and around that church, he was just real careful, or the job, or what have you. He was just careful. He caught old girl over there in the corner because y'all distant. He did that. And you come to find out, dude, there's nothing special about you. And I don't know if y'all like me. I don't know if it's a pride thing. The minute I found out there's nothing special about me, I'm done. I gotta be special. I'm sorry. I gotta be special. For me, I believe that the one that is for me, there's just gonna be tunnel vision. I don't believe in all that wide-eyed view. Y'all get y'all wide-eyed cameras or what have you, cockeyed cameras, your wide-eyed cameras. I don't believe in all that. The minute I realize I ain't special, nope. Sorry. Self-esteem boost. Self-esteem boost. Number 4. Thank you. I love to know it ain't just me, because I know too many women. Y'all are willing to be an option. I just can't. I can't. When I say that, I'm not saying I choose. I can't. I'm not wired that way. I know that there's this concept out now that's being popularized where they say date around. Heck no. No, 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 no. I don't know why y'all trying to legalize thottery. Okay. False pursuit. Why is it that he or she pursued you? This is the obvious one. This is the one that most people, because this is why you pursued him. Cloud 9 effect. Right. I'm with you, Sister Danielle. I'm with you. I can't do I can't do cockeyed pursuits. I can't do cockeyed pursuits. Why your eyes ain't just on me? She talking about? It's over there. Okay. Yeah. I'm not trying to get you fixed. Sorry. Not my thing. Cloud 9 effect. Yeah, they're trying to legalize thottery out here. They're trying to make it make sense. They're trying to normalize a lot of crazy stuff. And I'm sorry, I'm traditional. I'm old school. I'm old school. That's how I know I'm old school. So I don't do that kind of stuff there. I grew up in the 80s. So we didn't grow up with that kind of stuff. I had uncles that played them type of games. They taught me the game at a young age. They didn't have to sit down and talk to me. They taught me the game by just being there, me sitting in the house, watching my uncles bring all them different women in the house, telling the woman I'm your friend, all these mind games. I thank the Lord for thotting uncles. I thank the Lord for thotting uncles because I learned. Okay. I learned a lot watching them. Then I was close to my cousins, my male cousins. We were always like this. So I learned a lot. They schooled me. What have you? Cloud 9 effect. That was number 4. Cloud 9 effect. Y'all do know in the United States of these Americas that most people are addicted to the honeymoon phase, which is what we call, what I call the cloud nine effect. That is being in love. That is being in love. Most people are addicted to that feeling. It's a drug. Most of the drugs that they produce are similar to chemicals that your brain produces. Did y'all know that? Did you know that your body has the natural ability to heal itself? And what they do when they're creating drugs is they mimic the hormone, or they mimic the chemicals that your body produces to heal itself. Did y'all know that? Cloud nine effect. Some people pursue you because they want to feel in love. They're addicted to that feeling. When I got with my ex, I remember when we first got together, we just fell mad, head over heels in love. Just was inseparable. He couldn't stop being around me. I couldn't stop being around him. He couldn't keep his hands off me. I couldn't keep my hands off of him. We all locked and loaded into each other. Cloud nine. When we got married, I remember at one point when things started leveling off, I remember at one point having a reality check, like sobering up and realizing you weren't special. This is what he does. He likes to get in relationships with women. He likes to fall in love. That's just him. So if he cheats, not so if when he cheats, he gonna think he in love with the side chick. He gonna fall in love with the side chick because that's his thing. He's addicted to that high. He's not the type of guy. They're the type of guys out there that are so broken. They ain't got no, and they're not better than these. But I'm just saying there are those guys out there that are so broken that they feel nothing. So at the end of the day, they may have their measure of love for their main woman. Any woman out in the streets, they just pretty much they cold toward her. So I immediately think about this story I wrote in my book called Wiser Still. I don't know which edition it is. I got Wiser Still 1, 2, and 3 out on the market. Those are my best-selling books. Check them out. Basically, what I do is I tell a story. These are fictitious stories, not real stories, and then I give the lesson behind it. But I remember in one of those stories, I think it's in Wiser Still 2, one of the two editions of Wiser Still 2. I remember there's this one story I talked about, and it's a fictitious story, but there was this woman, she liked to mess with married men or men who had girlfriends. She loved to mess with them, what have you. Then she would just mess, she would pick with the girlfriends. Like she would do stuff and what have you. And then, the guys would be, just, hey, well, I don't know why she's picking with you or what have you. They wouldn't really check her. Or when they checked it, they'd be like, hey, don't do that. Or what have you. They would kind of light level, but they continued to see her, even though she was doing things to pick with their girlfriend. Um, every story in this book is designed to teach a lesson because in this particular story, it was designed, if I'm thinking right, to show the elevation of the side chick. It's designed because the devil intends, somebody better tag his side chick below. The devil intends for the side chick to get killed. He uses her to kill or destroy marriages. That's her assignment. And then ultimately for her to lose her life. That is the assignment of the side chick. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is the assignment of the side chick. Unbeknownst to her, her assignment is to die. Her assignment is to die because she's going to come across that one. So in this particular story, this girl, don't remember what I called her. She's messing. She was in a relationship or she was messing with this dude who had a girlfriend or wife. I don't remember. And she would she would go up to the school, like where their kids were. When the woman go pick up her kids, she would see her out there. They get into an argument or what have you. And the guy would just be like, hey man, why are you doing that? Eventually, they parted ways. So she started talking. She came across this one dude that was ready to throw money at her, but he was like the kind that hard G, right? So he come and I'm talking about he just splurging on her. He made it real clear the day he started talking to her. He's like, I got somebody, or what have you, and what have you. She thought it was like the last person. Remember I said with the side chick's assignment is die. She thought it was gonna be the same thing. So she decided to mess with this guy's wife. Well, this guy happened to be one of those type of guys where he had his measure or his what he felt like was love. Like his woman, that was sacred to him. Like you could not mess with her, period. He had a child with his woman, you couldn't mess with that. He just wasn't faithful. But he would give his side chicks, he gave his woman the world, he gave his side chicks a piece of the world. Like he spoiled them. She decided to mess with his side chick, and he killed her. He killed her. He let her know, hey, you messed with the wrong one. And the purpose of that particular story was to show you how the enemy will elevate you. Your elevation toward death looks like promotion. Your elevation toward death looks like promotion. Somebody, y'all are not tagging y'all friends. Wait, you can wait till the video over with, but you need to tag your friends that's messing with married men or men with girlfriends because they don't know their assignment is to die. And that was the thing. Cloud nine effect. Some people, and that's the reason why. Have you ever wondered why a lot of people cheat? Some people cheat just because they're addicted to that drug that their brain produces when they're in love. When things level off with you, they don't know how to do the hard work of making things get back in a good place. So they'll go cheat. They don't know how to do the hard work of saying, okay, things are leveling off, things are kind of getting normal at home. Instead, most men, they don't usually know how to manufacture those moments. So they just kind of retreat to playing a video game again. They're gonna go back to life, the same life that they had when they were single, right? So when it comes down to it, it's easy for them to cheat because they're addicted to that drug that their brain produces when they feel like they're in love. The cloud nine effect. Some people pursue you just because they have to die how? At the hands of the mistress. At the hands of the man that you're cheating with most of the times. It die at the hands of the man that you're cheating with, or you may find yourself at some point getting into a relationship with somebody who's serious about you, but still you're still messing with the other guy. So basically, the enemy says that the objective is to use a woman to destroy, and the Satan does no different with people than we do with objects. I'll use this 100 wipes. This I usually wipe my camera with. I got other cameras over here, or what have you. It's probably about 15 of them left in here. It's not that many left, right? They've been in use. Once I'm done with this, what do you think I'm gonna do with it? I'm not interested in this box. I will not memorialize this box. This box means nothing to me. It's what's inside the box. I'm extracting the benefit from the box. Once I'm done extracting the benefit, I'm going to toss this box. Matter of fact, once I open these up and get what I want, I toss them. Crowns of passion are real. So that's the thing. Sometimes people get in relationships with you just because they want to extract a benefit. And so when I say get killed, I'm talking about the enemy sometimes will send people into your life, or the enemy, if the enemy has an assignment on Brother Tyrone. Remember I talked about in earlier lessons how the enemy will designate a person. The enemy hurts. That's the terminology I use. The enemy hurts you. So the enemy, when you were a kid, the enemy had already made a decision as to what he wanted you to do. He decided, hey, I want this person to be a thought. I want her to destroy marriages. I want to use her to destroy as many marriages as she can. And just when she basically getting old or whatever, I want to kill her. I want her done and I want her dead. But I'm trying to raise up a killer in Tyrone over here. I want him to kill. I want him to go out. I want him to be angry. I want him to carry so much anger in him, and I want him to kill. So let's say the woman, that the enemy decided that he wanted to be promiscuous. Let's say her name is, and I don't know if there's anybody on here by this name, but forgive me. Let me just make up another name. Dania. So Dania, the enemy decided a long time ago that Dania is going to be a thought. That's it. He going to use her. So what happens to her? She gets molested. So that's what she gets molested as a kid. The enemy basically causes her to reduce her value, the value of her body, right? So typically when people are molested, they get into sexual promiscuity. This is why it's a sin and a shame when you go put money on a prostitute, because you put your fingerprints on the same person, like you are contributing your fingerprints to that person's trauma. I don't care how much they seem to like sex, want sex, and they want the money, and you try to justify it. At the end of the day, when you put your fingerprints, you're going to be judged for being a trauma weapon against that person, right? So Amelia would have been good. But Dania, he sits back. The enemy says, I want Dania to be a promiscuous, but I want to make sure that before she turned 30, I want her dead and gone. So she starts dealing with molestation at a young age. It's like everywhere she goes, men are looking at her. 8 years old, 9 years old, she's dealing with men, grown men pulling up on her saying inappropriate things. Her mother doesn't know how to properly cover her. Her dad is out in the wind somewhere. He doesn't know how to be at home, or he done left and he gone. So Dania has no real covering. Because he has no real cover, she has no real covering. The enemy is training her through all of this sexual immorality and not having the love of a father. The enemy is training her to look for that in men and to identify herself as a sexual creature. That way, she will try to get love or extract love from men by giving up her body. Okay? You got Tyrone over here that the enemy wants to kill people. The enemy wants him. Tyrone is called. Tyrone is supposed to be an apostolic warrior, deliverance minister, casting out demons, prophesying, and all that. Satan recognized that in his youth. But how do I? Because this is warfare. Warfare is not the fight. It is the strategizing or the strategization of the fight. Let's use a big word. Okay. But he says, what can I do to Tyrone to make him, to break him? So Tyrone ends up with a broken mother. Satan attacks his mother because Satan thinks in generations. Satan don't care nothing about his mama. Satan uses his mother. Satan uses his mother. She's always, you just like your daddy. You just stupid, just like your daddy. You just this. So now Tyrone wants love so bad, but he can't get it. Then there's a rotating door of men coming into the house. So Tyrone is being taught to not respect women. He's being taught to see women as sexual creatures and nothing, that and that alone. And Tyrone has a hunger for love. There's this void there. Tyrone goes out there because he got this void. He doesn't go after certain types of women because to him, they would never give him a chance. Y'all, to him, they would never give him a chance. So he always goes after women that are low, like low thinkers. He goes after those types. He goes after broken women. He keeps going after women that cheat on him. He keeps going after women that are sexually immoral. He keeps going after women that even if they identify as Christians, they still out there in the world doing what they want to do with their bodies because they have not committed their bodies to Christ. They have not committed their souls or their minds to Christ. He keeps going after broken women. So what ends up happening is at some point, Tyrone is set to meet Dania. He's set to meet Dania. When Tyrone meets Dania, there's a lot about Dania that Tyrone falls for. Dania opens up, tells Tyrone her story. She says, hey, I was molested as a kid. I had all this stuff. What happened? Because she's opening up, Tyrone says, I can help her. So Tyrone opens up about his trauma. So they start trauma bonding. They start building a soul tie, because trauma bond is a form of a soul tie. There are 12 different soul ties. I'm going to deal with that in a book at some point. But there are 12 different soul ties. Trauma bonds are one of them. So Tyrone, he starts feeling for her. He starts feeling like, I want to protect her. Because one facet of the man is the protector. That is something that God put in every man, is a provider and a protector. So she has the protector. Like she has locked and loaded with the protector. He feels the need to protect her because she's had so much trauma in her life where he feels like, I want to protect her. I want to make sure. But Dania is not healed. Dania is so used to being taken advantage of by men. Plus, Dania has an ungodly, insatiable appetite for sex. She doesn't know how to be faithful. She ain't gonna be it. No matter how much you try, she's one of the type of women that when you had them guys creating a song, you can't turn her into a housewife. They were thinking about that type of spirit in her. Because at the end of the day, don't matter if he put her in a big house, he buy her the nicest cars. If he gives her everything she wants, she's still gonna cheat. So Tyrone decides, you know what? I'm gonna surrender. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of throwing it out. I'm gonna give this girl what she wants. I'm gonna give her the house. I'm gonna give her the car. I'm gonna give her everything. But what Tyrone doesn't know is that Satan is watering that garden for him to become a killer. He ends up having 2 kids with Dania. Let's say he thinks his family is complete. Tyrone been out here working. I'm talking about he works hard trying to take care of his house. One day Tyrone come home. Dania ain't there, but the kids are there. You got an 8-month-old locked up in a child seat, and the 3-year-old is in her crib crying. Tyrone is frustrated, but he tries to tell himself, you know what? Maybe she went to the store. Let's just say Tyrone came home early to make it more interesting. Maybe she went to the store. This wasn't a wise move. Maybe the kids were asleep and she thought she could run to the store. I'm gonna talk to her about it or what have you. A couple of hours passed. Tyrone makes it a point not to call her because he just wants her to come home. A couple of hours passed. Dania finally comes home. 15 minutes before Tyrone's supposed to get off work. Tyrone catches on to that. He typically comes home. He gets off at 6. He's usually home about 6:15, 6:20. Dania come pulling into the driveway at 5:45. Dania come pulling into the driveway at 5:45. She see her husband's car. So she sits in the car. She's nervous. She's scared. She got to think of the perfect lie. I don't know how long he been home or what have you. So I can't customize my lie until I know how long he's been home. She sits in the car. She can't fix herself up because Tyrone comes out the door when he sees her. He comes out the door like this. He done finally got the kids asleep. He comes out the door. He holds his hands like this. So she gets out the car. Tyrone notices that she's wearing a hoochie mama outfit. She's dressed. He also notices that her hair is a little disheveled. She was in the car trying to fix it. She got on a full face of makeup. In that moment, Tyrone's heart dropped. His heart drops. In that moment, Tyrone feels, he recognizes, this woman been cheating on me. So he stands there and he walks up to her. He was like, where you been? And she was like, how long you been home? Because her lie has to depend on what he says, where you been? She said, how long you been home? She got on this short skirt. He said, who is he? She said, I just made a run real quick. He said, it ain't no real quick. You been gone. How long you been gone? How long you been home? No, it ain't been long. Stop playing with me. You been out. I ain't been messing with nobody. Boy, move. So she starts getting defensive. Tyrone realizes, I remember when I was messing with her. Whenever she came to me, she wouldn't wear no underwear. So Tyrone keeps trying to get around her. And she keep on pushing off. He rushes up on her, pulls her skirt up. No underwear. He goes into shock. He goes into shock. Now that murderous spirit in him is activated. You know why? Because he made her his everything. She became his safe place, his savior. She became the one person he felt like he could rely on. She became his everything. So Tyrone sits there. She goes in the house. He just stands out in the driveway in shock. Scared and not knowing what to do, she realizes she's caught. So she goes in the house and she is defensive. She starts packing her bag. I'm just tired of your insecure butt. You always, and I don't care what your mama did to you. You can't take that out on me. He come in the house. He's still in shock. The same gun he bought to protect her. He walks over to the gun case. Nothing left to lose. Nothing left to lose. I gave this girl everything. She didn't have to work. I was taking care of her. And Tyrone goes up in there and he says, how long this been going on? She's packing her bags. Tyrone doesn't show her the gun. He says, how long this been going on? Then Tyrone starts remembering what people said about their youngest son. Why is Tyrone dark skinned? She brown skinned. But the youngest son looked like he biracial. She always said it was a gene in her family. Tyrone realizes. Everything just starts coming to a head. He realizes neither one of those kids look like him. He realizes in that moment. So they get into an argument because, he's matching her energy. And he said, I bet Junior ain't mine. She said, and what if he ain't? What if he ain't? What if he ain't? Tyrone reaches behind him, gets the gun. Pew. Assignment completed. She hit the floor. She dead. Tyrone walk out the house, go to his cousin's house, and tell him, cops coming to get me. I left the kids. Somebody go to the house, get the kids. They ain't did nothing to me. Her assignment was to die. Tyrone's assignment was to kill because Satan never wanted him to get to the point of revelation that he became the apostolic deliverance minister that he was designed to become. That fight that he was trained for as a kid was supposed to show up in his ministry, where he was supposed to be bold in ministry. He was supposed to be casting out demons with boldness. He was supposed to be casting out high-ranking demons. But because he didn't get healed, and instead he went out there and he kept going after that type of woman, Tyrone ends up getting sentenced to 25 years to life. And Satan can't have that because he's such a good person in prison. He'll likely get paroled early because they call it the crime of passion and what have you. He'll likely get paroled early. The enemy can't have that. So Satan arranges for him to have a bully in prison so he can take his bully out. Either the bully gonna take him out or he's gonna take the bully out. This way he gets scheduled so he can never get out of prison. If you don't believe warfare is real, the enemy strategizes against you. The enemy knows how y'all be playing checkers and he plays chess. You sitting up over here trying to figure out. He tagged me again. You don't understand. He's literally moving everything in position so that you can accept your virtual or your Tyrone, or you can accept your Dania to the dude. And then next thing you know, you find yourself in a relationship and you surrender. Okay. This is the cloud nine. Going back to the cloud nine effect. That was number 4. Why is somebody pursuing you? Cloud nine effect. The objective of the cloud nine effect is because people are addicted to that drug. And if somebody's addicted to the cloud nine effect, they will cheat. I'm sorry to tell you that, because cloud nine effect does not continue on in a marriage. You have to actually do the work. It's very similar to the fire, because the cloud nine effect represents passion. It's very similar to the fire. God said, don't let the fire of his altar burn out. The fire of the altar can burn out if you're not praying. The fire of the altar can burn out if you're not fasting. The fire of the altar can burn out if you're not going to church, if you're not assembling together. That passion can die. Same is true for marriage. In order for that passion to be sustained, you literally have to work it. But how can you work it when you got annoyed? How can you work it when you get offended? When you got familiar with the person? It takes revelation to do that. It takes wisdom, intentionality, and revelation. It takes wisdom, intentionality, and revelation. Cloud nine effect. When a person is addicted to that, they're not used to putting in work. And so as soon as that fire starts dying out, they think there's something wrong with the altar. They don't realize that I got to put something on that altar. So they go into the Cain mentality where I'm not going to sacrifice anything. I'm just going to go pick flowers and I'm going to try to bring you flowers. And I'm going to think that's going to fix all of the years of abuse and neglect. I think that's going to fix it. And it's going to fix the fact that I ignored you. It's going to fix the fact that I'm not doing much of it. I want to go out to eat with you. I don't want to date you. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to come on, play video games and fart. That's it. That's going to fix all that. And then when that don't work and they not getting that cloud nine drug, the secretary of the office is going to come and say, hey, you look a little tense. Okay, no, sit still. You're good. Let me give you a massage. And now they think they're in love with her. I just gave it to you. Now they're addicted to that drug. They're not getting it at home with you. They don't want to put the work in with you. So they're getting it from her. So now she's sitting up there massaging, and you know what? He gonna go to her, but no worries. Don't cry. He gonna leave you. All right? I'm sorry. I gotta be the bearer of bad news. 9 times out of 10, he might leave. But no worries. He gonna leave her too. Because he's never, outside of marriage, his single season, he never learned to work anything. He never learned to pursue and to persevere and to show up whenever he wanted to quit. He never learned how to burn that fire. He never learned, because fire typically shows up when a fence is fire. But the thing about it is, you're supposed to keep working that thing. He never learned how to do that. So he gone. Cloud nine effect. Okay, number 5. What is it that he's pursuing or she's pursuing? What do people want when they're pursuing you? Remember, I told you this lesson is for the singles, is to help you to understand that everybody ain't pursuing you for the same reason. Everybody ain't pursuing you to be with you for the rest of your life, to have babies with you, and to cover you, and to pray for you, and all of that. Everybody ain't pursuing you for that. Some people are pursuing you for benefits. So number 5, what is another reason that people can pursue you? These are the things that you should be looking for. When you first start talking to people, you should be sober. You should stay sober. Keep your sobriety. Because you want to look to see what is it that you want, because people will show you what they want. But if you're too sober, you're too drunk, or you're too silly to see it, you'll keep letting them get the benefit, hoping that that's going to prove your love for them. All right. Number 5, affront. They want a front. I'm not going to stay here for long, but it may be a man trying to hide his sexual orientation. Ain't going to stay here. Or he could be trying to control it. He got desires for other men, but he's trying to quench it by getting himself a woman. Same is true for the women. So front. Tired of y'all calling me gay. So he shows up with a woman on his arms because he doesn't want to be seen. It could affect him in the industry. It could affect what he's trying to do. Or at the same time with his family. He's a very family-oriented person, and his family is incredibly religious. So he's afraid to show up in his family with a dude. So he will get with you because he needs a front. He needs a front. He needs somebody to make him look straight. Or somebody to help him get straight because he's deceiving and believing. If I keep having sex with a woman, I may come to like it. No, you need deliverance. And not just deliverance. You got to get a changed mind. You got to get a new heart and a new mind. It's a front. And before anybody come in my comment with some dumb stuff, it happens. And there's nothing in the Bible that says sexuality is right. It is a sin. The Bible speaks against it. Some people will get with you because they don't want to be gay. And they don't know the way out. So they think, and if you need deliverance, I'm saying this because somebody will listen to this. If you need deliverance, and let's say if you're a male and you feel like, well, maybe if I keep sleeping with a woman, I'll like it. You're not. You're going to get disgusted because your perspective is being controlled. Chloe, you're awesome. Thank you, sis. God bless you. God bless you. Sometimes it's just a front. I live in Georgia. I have to be careful out in these streets. It's a front. Number 6. This is the one some of y'all don't want to hear. This is the one some of y'all, you don't even realize. Number 6, why is he pursuing you? Or why is she pursuing you? What is it that they want? Sometimes people want revenge against the ex. You want me to stare in tongues? Sometimes it's just when a person is fresh out of a relationship. This is why I don't date dudes that are fresh out of relationships. I'm sorry. I refuse. You can't come to me talking about y'all just broke up last month, 2 months ago, or what have you. At the end of the day, you need to go somewhere and heal. You need to go heal. Because a lot of times it could be that the ex cheated on him for another man and you look prettier than the ex, or you got some stuff going for you and he want to show up. He want to take pictures with you. He want to spoil you. He want to take you to Disneyland. He want to take you on a cruise. He want to do all that stuff and take pictures, and he wants you to post it to social media to make his ex jealous. Revenge. Some of you right now, you are in a relationship of revenge. You are being used so that the ex can see this is what you could. And I've seen women do this. I've seen women posting lingerie, talking about wearing this for my husband tonight. And I sit there and I'm like, I tell the dude quick, I say, you see that? You know what? Her husband doesn't realize she ain't over somebody. And there's no way, because your lingerie is for your husband and your husband only. That ain't for the internet to see. Well, I don't want, because the objective of posting it is for people to imagine you in it. And I said 9 times out of 10, she got her ex or her ex's family on her page. And she fantasizes that the ex is seeing what she's wearing for him and saying, dang, I hate I let her go. Sister Caitlin, I love you. God bless you. God bless you. Men are the surest creatures on the planet. Very often than not, if you're still chasing up behind them, 9 times out of 10, they don't regret losing you. You posting lingerie or showing what you can cook or showing, your waistline or all that don't do nothing for them. Sorry. You ever want a man to regret losing you? Be healed. Keep your confidence, forgive, and move the heck on. Men are pursuers by nature. And if you pursuing him by posting up to Facebook, people know when they're being pursued, y'all. Sorry. Come on, y'all. Sometimes I get mad when people I get mad at y'all, some of y'all, because I be like, y'all be letting y'all brain cells get disrespected. Because obviously, dude think you got the IQ of a squish spider. can tell when a picture is designed to provoke. Now the ex on social media taking pictures and stuff like that, she don't know she's being used. She tagging him, he's sharing, talking about some love you, babe. Can't wait to hang out with you. Can't wait. Oh my gosh. Girl, why he in the bedroom recording y'all bedroom? See, y'all ain't tagging people because y'all know somebody that's in this situation. Share. If you can't tag, share. Okay. If you can't tag, share. Sometimes people do stuff because they're not over somebody else. Why y'all think I don't get pursued that heavy? Cause I know game, and I'm gonna cut it. I will cut that crap. Cause I know a lot of times, ladies. Me and my sister in Christ, we were talking about this the other day. We were talking about how a lot of ladies think that what we were talking about this yesterday, as a matter of fact. She was talking about, some of our feminine sisters, like incredibly feminine, beautiful, and all that. And I said, that's a beautiful thing. We should all be feminine, all that. Embrace your femininity, all of that. But I said, but guys typically like women that have a little bit of down to earth in them. You can be feminine, but if you're just overly feminine, like if you're overly, oh my God, this is spider and all that, I said a lot of times that can kind of repel guys because in our mind we think that's what the man wants, but in a man's mind, a man likes safety. I said, notice that a lot of the marriages you'll notice that the woman has a degree of entrepreneurialism in her, or like she don't mind getting down and dirty, like she'll go out in the garden and stuff like that. Men typically don't go for women that don't want to get grease or grass stains or that. They typically don't go for them type. Now they may cheat, and when they get old they'll get them. When they get old, and this is what we were talking about yesterday, when they get old and they've been with their wife for 30 years, they may leave their wife and give you the convalescent version of them. They'll give you the convalescent version because at that point they probably got enough of a nest egg to take care of you. But revenge against an ex, sometimes where y'all at? Because some of y'all right now, you are entertaining somebody and they're using you to get revenge against another person. He immediately started posting this thing. Yeah, it's revenge. It's all about, oh, let me show you. Okay, I want you to be jealous. All that. It's revenge. It's revenge against an ex. It's to show the ex. You see what you could have had? You see, this could have been you. Number seven. Obvious one. We don't stay here. We're not going to stay here long because I think we talked about this in the beginning. Why is he pursuing you, or why is she pursuing you? Sometimes people pursue you because they want money or resources. Money or resources. Sister Catherine, you're beautiful. Thank you, sis. God bless you. Sometimes it's money. And yes, you can be, dudes can be sugar babies. And you ain't gotta make a lot of money. I know people that get SSI checks. I know people that get Social Security checks. I know people that they get just a little bit of money in the mail every month, and they still got sugar babies. They still got sugar babies. They still got people that show up every month, or people that live with them because they ain't got nowhere else to go. Y'all quiet. Because you know what? Some of y'all feeling used. Some of y'all feeling used. Right now, some of you are getting clarity. Some of you are getting sobered up because that's what the truth. The Bible says the truth. You shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. Some of you're being used. Sorry. It's about money and resources. And you got to get delivered as a woman from thinking that a man won't pursue you because of your money. And you ain't got to be making a lot of money. Men already know that. They know a woman can come in and take advantage of them for money. And I've said this before. I've never understood men who allow themselves to be used for money. But it's historical. Men been doing that for years. You think them kings back in the biblical days cared? Some of them kings were cockeyed. They was sitting up there and they get me a hug over there. And she ain't had no choice. Sister Selena, you're beautiful. Thank you, sis. God bless you. How can you there's no way to disconnect, a nice way to disconnect from a demonic person. The best way to do is just to be honest with him and say, hey, I'm a Christian, you're into some things that I'm not into. I really appreciate you, I respect you, and I have to respect you enough to put distance between me and you, because I don't want you to develop any type of feelings for me, or I don't want these feelings to continue to grow, or what have you. So I'm gonna have to disconnect. And that's it. And understand that he's gonna have a rebuttal, he's gonna have this, or what have you, but you have to make it up in your mind not to sit there and listen to all that. You just say, hey, I've already made my decision. I respect you, and what have you. And so one thing I can say before I move on, the problem with a lot of us women is that we're always trying to do things a nice way. And I've seen people take advantage of your niceness. People do that. They will take, I've seen that with my mom plenty of times. She was too afraid to speak out. So people took advantage. They knew what she wanted, they knew what she didn't want, but they completely overrode her will because she was so busy trying not to offend. She kept a boyfriend in her house for 8 years that was just sitting in there being a bump on the log, just eating out the refrigerator, didn't have nothing to contribute, got a check from working at a church for 1 or 2 days out of a week, and only thing he paid was a water bill. He had nothing else to contribute while she was working 2 jobs. And whatever question, she would always say she felt sorry for him because he had this big old long this sad story about being the black sheep in his family. And she was like, he don't have anywhere to go. He'll have to sleep on a bench. I said, Mom, if it was me, he would be sleeping on a bench. I would give him some cover. Mr. Reggae, you're awesome. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. I said, if it was me, I'd point them to some. I would do research for. There are 4 shelters for men. You can go here. You can go here. I called your sister. She said you can come live with her. She said you can't live with her because you're nasty or what have you. But I'm not gonna continue to entertain them. That people actually use you for that. Like if you're too nice, people will they will override your will. Or what have you. So that's one thing I want you to make sure you get free from is that I feel sorry for a person. Stop feeling sorry for people who don't feel sorry for you. Start feeling sorry for people who don't feel sorry for you. Love, love, love you. Thank you. Stop feeling sorry for people who don't feel sorry for you. They don't feel sorry for you. I mean, love them, love people. I at least give them resources. I'll say, here's this shelter, here's this shelter, here's this shelter. But I wouldn't entertain. I wouldn't entertain. But with this particular guy, what you're talking about, I would just be honest with him. Like I said, I'm a proponent for healthy communication. I don't believe in like dancing around. I believe in just being direct and saying, hey, what you're into is witchcraft. I'm into Christ. And so light and darkness can't mix. Well, you try to call me a witch. I'm not calling you a witch. I'm saying, let's just cut all the argument of what I could be saying or would be saying or should be saying out. And let's just be direct. I really respect you as a human being. I think you're an amazing person. I genuinely enjoy talking to you. I'm being honest. However, I could not pursue anything more with you because you're into some stuff that I'm not into. And that's it. Oh, so you just gonna cut me out like we could do this amicably where we can be cool, or we can do this where you can walk away from here feeling angry and rejected, and we end up not being cool. That's up to you. Everything doesn't have to end in an evil way. Everything doesn't have to end harshly, right? Sometimes it's just a conversation. Hey, we're not good, but just be honest. So revenge against an ex. Money or resources was number 7. Sometimes people need money. Sometimes they need resources. Sometimes they need money or they need resources. Let's go on to number 8 because this kind of lines in with that. Sister Jenny, you're awesome. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. Number 8. Sometimes people need a place to stay. You got a house? They need somewhere to stay. We call this what? That's a hobosexual. Sometimes people just need somewhere to stay. And if him giving you the dang dang is going to allow him to come into your house, sorry. I'm saying it because a lot of times women think that let me show him that I'm a good woman. Let me show him I'm a wife. I'm gonna give him wife benefits. I'm gonna let him come in my house. I'm gonna cook for him. I'm gonna clean and all of that. Sister Natasha, you're beautiful. Thank you, sis. God bless you. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna do all of that, and then he gonna see I'm a good thing, and then he gonna marry me. You know, I want to get y'all delivered from because I see this what Hollywood promotes. Stop trying to be a good thing for a bad man. I don't know where we get this old crazy cockeyed foolishness Whereas it's like you watch a bad guy on TV and then he going through all these different women and then you come across a good woman. I hope he choose her. She really a good woman. Why? I don't want him to choose her. I'd be like, girl, run for your life. Run for your sanity. I watch some of these shows, the men be on there. I'm talking about coming up as thoughts, just going through women, woman after woman, woman. Don't know the difference between a woman and a wife, have no respect for his own body. And y'all be the shows, what they're designed to do is get you to come into agreement, right? To get you to come into agreement. You watching a show, this man is married, probably got a distant wife, and now he out here cheating on his wife. And you, I hope he get with the secretary. I forget what show was. I've never watched it, but people told me about it. It was like the Power Scandal or one of those shows where a woman was messing with a married man. And people, my friend girl, she told me, she said, I found myself, she had to stop watching it because I found myself wanting him to get with the secretary or whoever it was. It is designed to make you come into agreement with that. So scandal, thank you. It's designed to make you come into agreement with that. I hope they get together. Why? That's what's being promoted on television, that when it comes to a bad man, he should get with a good woman. And we be rooting for the girl. We be like, oh, I hope he get. That's why y'all was watching Flavor Flav and, oh, I hope she win. How is that winning? How? TV programming, that's right. How is it winning? Don't please. If you ever find me on a TV show, don't root for my win. If the dude got a Leviathan spirit and he is promiscuous, he don't know God, or his idea of God is a God that serves his lust and his demands and his womanizing, please pray for me to lose. Because you can't win a loser. There ain't no win. But I noticed that when you're watching shows, you're sitting there and it's almost like you can see the guy is not a husband type. He's not a good, golly, sanctified and saved. I surrender my heart to you, God. I yield myself to you, Most High God. I will take care of your daughter. I will cover her. And any child that we birth together, I will cover my children. I will be faithful to her because I'm faithful to you. I love you and I honor you. Father, teach me how to cover her. Teach me how to be a husband to her. He ain't one of them dudes. He one of them dudes that can't stop. He's like a rotating disc. Like a broke Mississippi rotating fan, making all that noise, looking at all them women. And when they get older, they're in a wheelchair, they still do it. You can park their tail in the nursing home, and they still hitting the nurse on the way. Miss Jones, your daddy can't stay here. Because he hit Nurse Betty on the butt. And we just told them, don't turn around when he in the wheelchair. His thing don't even work no more. He's still trying. Because it's a spirit. When they get old, that spirit just be having fun. He don't even work with a blue pill. They got to get his man. Nothing works. Lazarus shall not be resurrected in this case. Just let it go. You going to the grave without any more booty. But these we decided, we told the nurses, don't bend over in front of him. Just be careful. Make sure you get behind him and push his wheelchair. But we had a new intern to come into the nursing home, and now we got to pay for her therapy session. So we need you to come pick up your daddy, because she came up in there, and even though we warned her, she had to give him his meds, and she got in front of him, and she didn't think, because we tell them to give his medicine from behind. Get behind him, hold his head up, and then just start putting his medicine in his mouth, right? We tell them that. But she got in front of him because she just felt like we were being cruel and inhumane. She didn't like the policies, all of that. She called herself an empath. So she came in front of him and she was like putting pills in his mouth. And them old folks in wheelchairs, they be having that real, like, superhuman strength in their arms. That superhuman strength. Well, she came in and she was putting it, and somehow your daddy grabbed a hold of her and pulled her over his lap, and she was screaming, and your daddy was laughing. And she said I don't know if he finished or what have you, but he made some yawn. His head went back and teeth fell out of his mouth. Now she traumatized. We got to give her 3 weeks off of pay, and we got to make sure she go through therapy so she don't sue us. They strong. They're right. They be strong. And we got to make sure she don't sue us. We got to sit there. We got to pay for her therapy sessions. That spirit don't go nowhere. Y'all be letting them folks in your house and stuff like that. They living in your house where your bathroom at. Well, Sister Tiffany, I hear you. I I think it's just the empath in me. I just happen to love people. Just because you call yourself an empath, a prophetic person, don't mean you got to be stupid. Stop it. He doesn't sleep in the bed with me. He sleeps on my couch. How much is his allowance? Allowance, what are you talking about? He's only asked me for money one time. He borrowed my car and he got some money from me. How much did he get? I think he got $60 from me. Did he buy something to eat? Yeah, I think he stopped and got him a Big Mac. Okay. Sis, he's not sleeping in your bedroom, right? No. The only possession he has is, a small bag of clothes and an iPad. Okay. So what I need you to do, sis, is go throughout your room because you've been leaving him at home while you went to work, right? Because he's just kind of laying there on your couch. I'm gonna need you to go throughout your room first. You should install cameras in your bedroom because I'm pretty sure you're sniffing your drawers. Okay. Um, Sister Amanda, I love you. God bless you, sis. Thank you. Thank you. Uh, I'm pretty sure you're sniffing your drawers, but that's neither here nor there. But before you put cameras in the bedroom, I'm gonna need you to get somebody to go there to look for cameras. Sorry. Look in the shower in areas around the shower and stuff like that. Because you said he never made a move on you. All that. Yeah. And I think, let me see. Because I'm gonna help y'all out. Because there's somebody on here with this situation right now, and I want to help her. Hold up. I'm pretty sure they sell them on Amazon. Hold up. Yeah, they $52. Hold up. Make sure I get nothing on here. They $52. See, hold up. I'm gonna need you to invest in it. He's sleeping on your couch. I want you to get that. You see that? Get yourself a black light. When he leave, cut off the lights in the living room. All right. Pay attention to the direction he lay in. So if he always lays this way, his head and his genitalia is down this way, all of that stuff, the black light is probably going to light up down toward the area where his genitalia is always at. Um, and you can pay attention to the splash or whatever, and you can probably see. And then also, if you can get him away from his phone, I mean his computer or his phone, just wait because men sometimes they don't always use wisdom because they do get comfortable, right? So wait for him to get really comfortable and then get him away from his laptop, what have you, send him to the store for tampons or something. Get on his laptop and you're probably gonna find videos of you. And once you kick him out, please throw away that couch. Oh, get rid of the bed too, because if your bedroom door won't unlock, you're gonna find DNA on your bed as well. Also, set up cameras in your bedroom just in case you can go back and watch those cameras. Make sure they're really hidden. I got cameras in my house, but make sure you got cameras in your bedroom and they're hidden and stuff. And with those cameras, you could be able to watch, and you probably make sure you get color. Or what have you can have some gray and white cameras, but get some color and have them on record. But yeah, just in case he may be wearing because some people are turned on. Right. You may find videos of him wearing your favorite bra. And that hope chest you were saving for when you got married. Throw it away. A place to stay. I'm just putting you up on game, okay? Don't. I'm just putting you up on game. I'm just letting you know. Some people get with you because they don't have anywhere to stay. Right? They'll put up videos in your children's room, and I can't stand when people put their children at risk. I can't stand that because of their desperation. Because they're so desperate to be in a relationship. And they do that because the father of their children walked out, so they don't value the children as much as they value the children that the father stayed with. So if the man comes in, the man that they with has kids with them, they're gonna value that kid or those kids. They'll protect them, but they'll expose the ones that. That's why I tell dudes all the time: stop dropping your seed off everywhere. Y'all letting some of these women be daycares. They're a place to stay. Some people get with you because they have a place. They need a place to stay. I'm just putting it on blast so some of y'all, you right now, you up in your bedroom listening to this, and the dude on the living room couch snoring like he got a job. Okay. Number 9. Let's move on. Let's move on. Why is he pursuing you? Why does he want you? This is for the passionate pursuers, the ones that they want to give you their heart. Fantasy fulfillment. Sometimes people pursue you because they have a fantasy. Remember, I've told y'all before, people marry their fantasy of you, but they divorce your reality. Fantasy fulfillment. Women do it all the time. Women will sit there, pursue a man, let themselves be pursued by a man the whole time. It's all about a fantasy. It's all about, I've dreamt about marriage and children, 2 children, scrolling the alpine forest with my dude, with our kids in store. I can imagine him carrying little Junior on his back or carrying our daughter on the back because, he's one of those masculine men. He deals with toxic masculinity just a little bit. So he going to make his son walk in that thick brush because he trying to train him to be a man. Now, men need to be their children to be a man, but sometimes it can be a little bit rough, right? So that's why a woman comes in. A woman has to bring a little bit of balance, right? So sometimes you got to be like, that's enough. I know you want him to be a man, but we ain't got to break his neck and put him in. We got to kill him. We got to kill him. We got to kill him. My fantasy is that we will ascend the Appalachian Mountains, that we will travel the world. We will see how many countries is it? 195, 196. Somebody let me know how many countries in the world. I think it's like 195. Could be more, what have you. We would travel the world and we would leave our mark, if you know what I mean, on every continent. All of that. We would never want for money. We would have properties all over the world. Fantasy fulfillment is when people pursue you for decent enough reasons, but they need a reality check because they live a lot in their head. Marriage will sober the crap out of you because rarely do your marriage look like your fantasies. Oh, I'm looking at the camera because I want y'all to hear me. Sometimes you got to look at people so they can hear. In case there's somebody on here that your audio went out, you can read my lips. Sometimes people pursue you because they want to fulfill a fantasy. And a fantasy has been dredged up by their voids. It was dredged up because they never had that as a kid, and they always saw people with healthy families, and they so desired that. This is the case for a lot of you ladies. You so desire there, and there's nothing wrong. But the Bible says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God. Tiffany, how is this against the knowledge of God? And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. How is this against the knowledge of God? Because God knows your future, and God knows your future don't look nothing like that. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Fantasies destroy marriages before they even start. Fantasies destroy, especially with women. That's why we fight. Most fight. You couldn't tell me. You couldn't tell me I was a lie if you wanted to. Most fights that are initiated by women come from the realm of fantasy. And I'm not talking about fights with a guy being disrespectful. I'm not talking about fights where, he did something that was wrong. I'm talking about a lot of fights are initiated because the woman spent her single season, instead of building, she spent her single season fantasizing. Sister Lynetta, you're beautiful. Thank you, sis. God bless you. She spent her single season thinking about what marriage is going to be like, how many kids. She fantasized about the fight, because women, we like when we fight. Some women like that toxic stuff. You fight, and he come up in there, and he's like, you might as well get this fighting out the way, because I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. You hear me? Now, I told you. So she can be the girl. He's all right. No, I'm leaving. He pick you up and carry you in the bedroom. You've been watching too many Lifetime. No, that ain't even Lifetime. That's BET. You've been watching too much BET. He carry you in the bedroom, put you on the bed, and he like, stop it. Now you sit right there, and I'm about to go make you some breakfast. Okay. Okay. And then you get married for real. And you know what? You try that crap. He look at you and he say, I'm leaving. Where you going? Fantasy unfulfilled. Wait. I thought you were gonna stand there and no, he said, no, I'm gonna go over to Tyrone them house. Either that or he go in there and play the video game. Fantasy unfulfilled. You go up in there. Hey babe, I lit some candles. Did that when I was married. Now we were dating. I in sexual sin at the time. I was a kid in the faith and silly. Call myself. We were at his parents' house, which is sin and the shame of itself. Call myself. He was up in the room with his brother playing a video game. That's all right. I call myself. I'm gonna make the room. I'm gonna light it up with candles, and I'm gonna make the room. It's gonna be sexy up in this place. Like we about to have a romantic night. I got traumatized that night. There was a lot happened. I can't even mention on here. There's a lot that happened that night. A lot that happened that night. I put all that little sexy stuff on. Got a roll when it's period in the room. Hey, can you come in the room real quick? He was like, I'll be in there, baby. About an hour later, I got up and blew the candles out, laid down with sleep. Fantasy unfulfilled. Got up, came in the bedroom like 3, 4 in the morning, saw all of that stuff. Matter of fact, I don't think I blew out every candle. I think I had a moment where I decided to leave one candle so he could know what he missed out. Right? Potential you will never see. It will never be actualized. They got to actualize it outside of you. He came in the room like 3, 4 in the morning. I think it was like 5, but I'm just being nice. Came up in there, baby, wake up, baby, wake up. Wait, you did. I was like, go to bed. Do not wake me. Baby, no. Sorry. That moment has passed. Fantasy fulfillment. People marry for that and they fight like cats and dogs because the fantasy. To my brothers, brothers, I'm gonna help y'all out. We got majority of sisters on here, but I'm gonna help you. A lot of the fights that you will have with your wife are going to be because you're not actualizing the fantasy that she had, especially when she's fighting with you. Women don't want me to talk about this, but women fantasize about fighting. Me, I don't like fighting, and I get annoyed with my friends when they try that stuff. Yeah, but women fantasize. I'm waiting on a woman to tell me I don't. It's probably a few because I know, but most women fantasize about fighting. They fantasize about making up. They fantasize about you proving yourself to them. I know somebody gonna say, "Shh, don't tell the secrets." Women fantasize about you coming and saying, "Now, sit down and stop acting like that. I'm about to go get you. I'm gonna go get some breakfast." Because women like to feel like big kids. Women like to feel protected and wanted. Yeah, most of the time when a woman starts a fight, she doesn't want it to end in a fight. Most of the time she wants reconciliation. Most of the time she wants whatever problem it is you to sit back and say, "Hey, okay, we're not doing that, or I won't do that no more." Or listen, lady, woman, women like that kind of stuff. Woman, stop doing that. Go your tail to bed. I'll be in there 5 minutes. No, you can't. I said, women like that kind of stuff. Because the only thing she gonna do is go, okay. Women like that kind of stuff. But if a man back down and get emotional, that's when it gets real. If a man sits back there, you always do that. Because fantasy unfulfilled. Yep, we want to be baby girl. It's exactly what it is. We want to be baby girl. We want to be picked up and carried. We want to be shielded. That's what women want. Men have their fantasies. Women have their fantasies. It's typically dealing with being a big baby. So the guys on here, when I tell you, I just help you to eliminate 80% of the fights in your household. I just help you to eliminate 80% of the fights in your household. 80%, those fights will typically end in a lovemaking session. If you play your cards right. Sorry. I be giving the truth out. I'm telling you. All right. Fantasy fulfillment. We got 3 more. Number 10. What does he want or what does she want? When people are pursuing you, what do they want? Sometimes the person, and this is for the people that are over 40. This ain't for y'all young folk, okay? This for the folks that are over 40, probably in their 50s and stuff like that. I heard somebody talking about it on TikTok and I laughed. I said it's the truth. Some men will be a thought in their 20s, 30s, and sometimes even in their 40s. When the doctor started giving them all these pills and stuff like that, and they need a caregiver, they'll get in a relationship because it's too expensive to hire a nurse. They want a caregiver. Like I said, this ain't for y'all in y'all 20s and 30s. I'm talking about when you get in your 40s and 50s. I'm talking about when you get in your 40s and 50s. Some people pursue you just because they need a caregiver. They don't want to be alone when they give up the ghost. And they ain't ready to give up the ghost that easy. Right, hospice wives. I love it. Hospice wives. They just want to make sure that if they sit back and they have a stroke, somebody's there. Men get in their 50s when they've been thought it out all their life, and they get in their 50s. A lot of times they ready to settle down in their 50s. Ain't nothing changed in their head. They just don't want to die alone. Their kids don't want to have nothing to do with them because they were too busy thoughting. Their kids don't care. Their kids ain't trying to bring them in their house and live with them. They didn't hurt so many different people. And then they got too much pride. So they look for a woman to bring them into the house and to take care of them. You be the hospice care worker. He says, follow slowly. You become the hospice care worker. Your job is to sit back there, make sure they take all their pills, and they may even add a blue pill in the mix just to make sure that you're happy. Y'all, do y'all like it when I tell the truth? Or y'all want me to tell? Y'all want me to come over here and do the traditional? We could do just some Bible study. I'm gonna do Bible study on here because we need to be doing that. Sometimes, like I said, when you get older, sometimes the person just needs a caregiver. They just need somebody that they can live with, that they can a hospice bay. Somebody that they can live with, that even if that means moving you into their trailer. Somebody that they can live with, somebody they can live with, that in case they go in the shower and don't come out, you know to come check on them. Or if they sleeping at night, you don't hear them snoring, you know to check their pulse. So you can sit there and say, babe, babe, babe. Oh, crap. He did it again. That dude trying to code on me. Hello? I need an ambulance. He didn't. Yep. I think he didn't have another stroke. I need somebody to come out here and get him. I just did CPR. I did CPR on him. He still ain't recovering. Sorry. This is a fact that people in their 40s or 50s, especially 50s, are aware of. So if you're 20 or 30, it may be funny, but it's a reality true. When you get older, sometimes you will come across dudes that have been out there their whole single season. They were slinging it around. They were doing the thing. Then they get old and sin catch up with them because sin gonna come back to get you. The Bible says that sin, when it is finished, it brings forth death. And that's a slow process. So sin starts to eat away at their health. It starts eating away at their mental health, their physical health. It starts eating away at them. And when it starts eating away at them, they sit up there, they just be like, okay, the doctor said we're going to have to, next year, if you don't get no better, we're going to have to amputate all that. Oh, they gonna hurry up and try to settle down at that point because they need a caregiver. They trying to make sure they don't die by themselves, and they trying to make sure they last a little bit longer, or what have you. So they go after a caregiver. A caregiver. All right. Now this one is similar to. We're going into number 11. This one is similar to one I talked about earlier. So why does a man pursue you, or why does a woman pursue you? Like, what is it that they genuinely want? And that is, it's a similar to revenge against an ex, but it's not the same. This is rebound. Number 11 is rebound or replacement. Some people just don't know how to be by themselves. They don't care about getting revenge against an ex. They just don't know how to be by themselves. They don't want revenge against an ex. They mad at the ex or whatever it is, but for the most part, they just want to, they don't want to be by themselves. They don't know how to be single. They don't know how to be single. They don't know what to do with a single season. Right? Told you I had an ex come after me, and when I got on the phone with him, he said my divorce should be final any day now. I said the devil is a lie. Oh, and I said it out loud. I was like, the devil's a lie. He a cockeyed one at that. He was looking for a replacement. And he searched his mental Rolodex, and what he remembered was that I was the version of me that I used to be when he met me, which was a broken Tiffany. He actually wanted her, and I had to try to get him to understand she dead. She dead. She buried. She gone. This is why you don't get with people when they're fresh out of a relationship. Let me tell you why I wouldn't entertain a man that's fresh out of a relationship. Because the only seat that's available, it takes time for a soul tie to break. The soul tie does not break up. The soul tie doesn't end when two people break up. It takes time for a soul tie to die down, especially one that's strong. So a lot of times what soul ties do is they create a shape in your soul for the person. So you'll have if you were dating a woman, if you're a man, you were dating a woman by the name of Michelle. I hope there's no Michelles on here. If you are, I'm not. Please forgive me. If you were dating a woman named Michelle, and you and Michelle broke up, you were with Michelle for 2 years, 3 years, you're going to have a Michelle shaped void. All right. I'm a visual person. So I'm going to draw it out for you because I love you. I love you. Hold up. All right. I'm drawing. Now, this is not what the heart looks like. And when we talk about the heart, biblically speaking, we're talking about the mind. But traditionally speaking, typically when people think about the heart, they think about a Valentine. So understand, I don't think the heart looks like this. This is just me drawing. Okay? Oh, dog, I gave Michelle a big head. Sorry. I'll be back on track. Give me a second, y'all. I love me some y'all. But I'm trying not to make Michelle any homelier than I've already done because I've done some damage to this chick. All right. I got her looking like a square-headed dude. All right. Give me a second. All right. Almost done. I'm not going to draw this all the way out because it would take time. Let me get her some eyebrows. Good God. And some hair. The child she's homely, y'all. Just forgive her. But just remember that God, everything God makes is beautiful. And sometimes we're just blinded to the beauty. Okay? Sometimes we just don't see it. So don't judge her. She's had better days. All right. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I get through messing the child up. Let's put her hair on her shoulders on this side. It was some implants or something. All right, we're gonna end it right here. We're gonna end it right here. Okay. We're gonna end it right here. Now forgive Michelle. This is not me being an artist. This is just me trying to do something real quick. The child is busted. Leave it alone. Okay. This is your heart. This is your heart on Michelle. Any questions? All right, so imagine this is your heart. This is the dude's heart. When Michelle broke up with him, Michelle is going to leave a Michelle-sized void. Just black her out. Just turn her into a void, if you may. A Michelle-shaped void. See, girl? This is restoration. Sometimes. All right. Now, this is a Michelle-shaped void in his heart. You come along, you ain't nowhere near Michelle. Michelle had qualities that he's attracted to. These are the things that make the stick of the cleave. You know, you're supposed to cleave to your wife. You start cleaving when you're dating people, right? You start going through the process. That's the soul time process. There are certain aspects to every person that you will soul tie to, and there are other aspects that you will not tie yourself to because you don't agree in those areas. Can two walk together except they be agreed? So Michelle has created an appetite of sorts because that's what we do as women. I don't know if y'all know that. I've taught women, whenever I saw a woman going through, like a woman said her husband was cheating on her, what have you, I tell women, I said, hey, listen, make sure you establish, like you're cooking, you're cleaning, you keep your house a certain way, you have a certain tone, all that. His relationships won't survive outside of you if you're a good woman, because another woman can't mimic that. Not for long. She can fake it, but she can't mimic it. That's a whole other lesson. But this is the void, right? It's a Michelle-shaped void. Here you come along, and because he got a Michelle-shaped void, he's gonna probably have a desire for women who are like Michelle, that look like Michelle. So you come along, and you all. I'm sorry. I'm just drawing some busted chicks today, and I'm so sorry about that. To my brothers, just forgive me because I don't know what's going on with me right now. You come along. We're not gonna draw her out because I don't feel like going through all that. Hold up. You come along. You got a few qualities like Michelle. You got a round square head. You know, it's just a few things. There are things about you that remind him of Michelle. So now the seat that he has for you is they're cute in Christ. That's right. The seat he has for you is in the space that Michelle emptied out. Now, his single season was about letting God fill that void, letting God get his seat back. That's what the single season was about. The single season was about restoration. But he didn't want to go through the single season. He had that void. Remember, I said a void is a black hole in the soul, and it creates a gravitational pull called attraction. So now attraction, whenever you don't heal from a person, you're going to develop a type. So you're going to be attracted to certain types of people, right? Certain looks, certain spirits. It's going to be similar to what you just got out of because you don't know no better. He got a Michelle-shaped void, all right? So you come along, and he love bums the crap out of you because you remind him of Michelle in so many ways. He love bombs you. Tells you how much, he wants to be with you. He tells you everything he's always wanted to tell Michelle. One of the things he used to tell Michelle. You come along and he reels you in. Oh, dusty one, you are about to go for a ride. Okay, here we go. He brings you in. Now, if you notice, you can't fit into Michelle's void. That void that Michelle left, you can't fit it. There, you can't because you're not her. Because some of y'all, I'm saying that because some of y'all are willing to take that seat. You're not her. So when you go in there, he's going to try to change you into Michelle. When I told you they got it, I was just talking about was trying to pursue me, talking about my divorce should be finalized every day now. I said the devil is a lie. I did do a FaceTime with him. I did a FaceTime. I was like, dude, it's been 20 years since I've seen you. You ain't seen me. This was back in 2015. I was like, you ain't seen me. I haven't seen you. Or what have you? Don't even know. And this is before I found out he was married. I was like, you haven't seen me. You don't even know if you want me. Like, I'm a stranger to you. So for whatever reason, I decided to go on FaceTime. He was like, yep, now I want you all the more. So he's just talking. He's like, you look similar to, your old self, just a little different. I know you want to say, just chunkier. But he was like, I'm not a fan of your hair. Dude actually told me that. You know why? The seat that was available was the one that the wife just abandoned. So 9 times out of 10, the hairstyle he wanted for me was one that mirrored the one that his wife had. Y'all, oh, y'all quiet. Because your dude told you to change your hair and you don't even realize that the hairstyle he want is because of somebody that left a hole in his soul. Y'all quiet. Somebody left a hole in his soul. He told you to change your hair, to cut your hair, to dye your hair, to put a wig on, put some sew-ins in, to get braids or whatever. He told you to do all that because he wants Michelle back. He wants Michelle. This is why you don't get with somebody who's fresh out of a relationship, because they will always compare you to her. And they'll keep telling you, why you fry my chicken like this? I've been cooking like this for years. Like, my family loves my chicken. What are you talking about? No, just add a little bit more season when you're done. Roll it around and some, make some gravy from the grease and all that. But didn't you tell me that you had never ate gravy from the grease until Michelle cooked it for you? Yeah, but what's wrong with that? I'm not her. Let's make that really clearly understood. Whatever appetite you develop with her, I'm gonna need you to let that thing die. Because at the end of the day, I can't be her, won't be her. I refuse to be her. And if you want her, I will hook you back up with her. I will even therapize the two of you guys to help y'all get back together. But what I'm not about to do is try to fit into the space or fit into those shoes that she came out of them. She got athlete's foot. Sometimes you are, and it amazes me the amount of women who are willing to be replacements. Y'all quiet. The ones that are you it's hard to speak because you realize you are the replacement. That was supposed to be a space between him and that ex before you came into the picture, even as a friend. Because let's not play with that friend bull crap. Let's just let I told y'all I like healthy communication. Y'all heard me say that. You're gonna hear me say that a lot on this channel. I like healthy communication. Let's stop gaslighting ourselves. You complain about people gaslighting you. Let's stop gaslighting yourself and saying we're just friends. Bull crap. If you're romantically interested in somebody, you're in a relationship with them, you're just not putting a label on it. Sorry. Right. So Kara, that is true. I do too. That is disrespectful. Because how dare you reduce me to think that I'm only worth to fit in that hole that she left in your soul, and then you want to get me in and to basically compare me to her and try to change me into her. Now you want me to cook like her? You want me to try to figure out all that stuff that she did in the bedroom? Now I got to worry about where you went, where you went today. Then you deal with insecurity. So now you should never be in a relationship where you got to stalk the ex. Now you over there dealing with insecurity. I kind of feel like he was with her, but he ain't gonna tell me that he gonna keep lying. I know they got kids together, but I kind of feel like he gonna keep lying. And next thing you know, you go on social media, you type in her handle, and on her page, it said she said she posts up something that's a little bit shady. She says, "Some of y'all be thinking y'all man just want you, but tell your man to be at home with his woman." Huh? She writes something like that. Now you mad because you went and tried to take a seat that didn't belong to you. You went and tried to take a seat, bro. You come to me and you fresh out of a relationship, I will tell you straight up, go heal. And when I say go heal, I'm not talking about go date like 3 other folks, and then you be like, well, you said a minimum of 3 months. It's been 3 months, Tiffany. I haven't talked to her in 3 months. But you're talking to other females. That means that you didn't allow yourself to properly heal from her. That means that you don't know how to be alone, which tells me that you're just looking for a replacement. And 9 times out of 10, she was a replacement. And there was a girl before. She was a replacement of the girl before her, who was a replacement of the girl before her. So you basically specialize in replacements. I would never have my own authenticity with you. The devil is a lie. I would never have the freedom to be Tiffany, to be my unique, weird self. I would never have the freedom to be that. I would never have the freedom to be that. I will always be in the house. Now you don't want to engage with me because she had carnal conversations with you, and I'm not into that stuff. I don't really want to talk. I don't know. I don't even know who Lil Boosie is. I've heard of Lil Boosie. I don't know who Lil Boosie is. Now I got to sit up and talk to you because you want to have conversations about, they say Lil Boosie and such and such. Who the freak is Lil Boosie and who they break it up and why do we care? Why do we care? You're the rebound. You're the replacement. Somebody got delivered. I'm telling you, somebody got delivered here tonight. Somebody got free. Somebody got clarity. Somebody got something that they were looking for. Last one. Last one. Let me write it down the right way. Why is he pursuing you? Why is he pursuing you? What is it that he wants from you? Now, this one's going to be a little bit more shallow. I had another answer here. I'll throw a bonus in, but sometimes people pursue you because they want a better relationship with God. If you got a solid relationship with God, they want a solid relationship with God. They don't have it, they want it. And so sometimes they'll pursue you because they see your relationship with God and they assume that naturally means that you'll be the woman that they always wanted. And at the same time, it'll help them get closer to God. But here's the problem with that theory, if you may. The problem with that theory is that you can't get closer to God through another human being. We can introduce you. We can take you to the water, but you got to drink it. All the same, there is a worldly appetite that is developed when you're in the world. Sin creates an appetite. It takes time to break that appetite. Perfect love casts out fear. You got to get to it. He has to get to the space where his love for God becomes perfect, which means that he'll pursue God outside of you. Even if he didn't have you, he'll pursue the heck out of God. Like he will pursue God. He will keep his body chaste. He'll do what he's supposed to do because he loved God. So if he's doing it for a closer relationship with you, then it's a closer relationship with God, then you're going to become an idol. I'm saying that because a lot of you don't understand that. You think, okay, well, Tiffany, you don't confuse evangelism with the one. That's evangelism. You can't evangelize and date the same person. Well, I did it. My mom did it, and she got with my dad, and they stayed together for 46 years. Girl, 38 of those years were hell on her. Ask her. 38 of those years, she was counting her marbles. She started off in a marriage with 872 marbles. 38 years later, she was borrowing marbles from y'all. That's why y'all crazy. She was taking y'all because the thing about it is, she was having to deal with his narcissism, his craziness. She was having to deal with all of the foolish stuff came out of the house. And you looking at that thinking, look at them. They stayed together. You can't sell me that crap. Let me see the state of that marriage. Tell me the real true state of that marriage. Don't tell me how long people stayed together. Were they happy? Was he respecting her? Did she respect him? The Bible says, wives, respect your husband. That's a fight. Ask any woman. You have to keep respecting because you're going to see the man's flaws. That's a fight. That means at some point it starts off easy. When you first in the honeymoon stage, I respect you. Oh, you can fix everything. Oh my gosh, you're so wonderful. But over the course of time, as you see his flaws, you really have to work that respect. That's part of the fire on the altar. You have to work that respect. That's why the Bible tells wives, respect your husband, love your wives. That's a fight for them. A man being territorial doesn't mean he loves you. I mean, territorial dudes I had in my life ain't nowhere near love my tail. But they were territorial because they felt like I was theirs. Because that's how men are wired to be conquerors. Once they conquer the territory, if they went and they conquered the Philistine, the Philistinian province or what have you, if they conquered all of that, hear me when I say this. Even if they moved on to conquer other lands, they still looked and said, Philistine belongs to me. If they heard about anybody infringing upon their land, they would go to war, and then they go back to the country that they were living in. You got to get delivered from thinking just because he he's so jealous. We're not together anymore, but he gets really jealous anytime he hears about another man pursuing. Girl, I was on social media, right? And I posted a picture to my Instagram of me and my new guy. Oh my God. And you wouldn't believe who called me. Who? Tyrone. I'm like, OMG. He still wants me. Right. He still wants me. No, you're territory to him. He hasn't loosened that part. It hasn't stuck yet. Men typically lose the territorialism when you move on. In the beginning, not in the beginning of you moving on. No, it typically at some point a man can be broken up from you. Manology. Here we go. Manology. A man can be broken up with you for 15 years, and you ain't dated for 15 years. You're still his in his head. You're his ex. You're still kind of like his property. If he sees you move on 15 years, even though he done went through 2 marriages and had 7 kids with other folk, and he done been out there and he can't even count the number of women on one hand that he done slept with. His seed been all over the world. Even though that, if he looks and sees you on social media and he noticed that you done moved the heck on, 15 years later, I'm not saying all men, I'm saying a lot of them, he gonna feel some type of way. Oh, so you because in his mind, you're his. Y'all know I talked to you about concubines. You got to understand, that thing still exists today. That's why I'm not flattered when an ex reaches out to me. It's not flattering to me. It doesn't flatter me when he says, "Hello, my ex." No, that's not flattering. What's flattering is if he had a fault for his relationship. What's flattering if he had done the part. That's flattering. But to come after the fact and no, that's territorialism. That's not love. That's territorialism. That's his way of saying you belong to me. 15 years later, you're mine. But typically, when you move on and you start dating somebody else, then they go through the feelings that I've counseled. They go through the feelings that they would have went through had you cheated on them. They go through the feelings. They start feeling like, so you're gonna disrespect me like that? You got my mom on your Instagram? You got my mom on your Instagram? Dude, you done post like 7 females. You done been through relationship after relationship. You done did your thing. I ain't say that I ain't trip on you. I ain't give you no headache. I ain't give you no heartache. I ain't did nothing. Now I post to do the Instagram, or I post to do the Facebook, or I post to do the TikTok, and we got a problem 15 years later? Because men are not wired to see things as being done, especially if you are a good woman. If you nasty and you did some stuff in a relationship, they'll let go of you then. But breaking up for a man doesn't look the same as breaking up for a woman. I told you, I should have been. Breaking up for a man does not look the same as breaking up for a woman. And I'm not saying to the guys, I'm not saying all men, I'm not saying this is the case, absolutely, or what have you. I'm talking about if you deal with a man who's carnal, if you deal with a man who's broken, if you deal with a man who has not really surrendered himself to God, there's going to be, even if he surrendered himself to God, there's a degree of territorialism, but self-control comes in where a man will tell himself that's not mine. But men are designed to conquer. Once they conquer and they put that flag in there, that's it. What you think them kings did? I'm going to get back to this. What you think them kings did when they had 477 concubines? They would have a concubine they ain't slept with in 20 years. Let that child go out there and try to be with somebody else. She was sleeping in the counseling room, ain't seen him in 27 years, having to be surrounded by estrogen every freaking day. The only men that had access to her were men who were penisless, called eunuchs. This woman was in a living prison, all because she was beautiful. Because she caught the king's interest, and her mom and her father brought her to the castle because they like, we want our daughter to be a concubine. Why? Brought her to the castle. The king looked, he was looking through the women, her, and her. I don't even know where y'all bought her. She cockeyed. Why'd you bring that one with that huge underbite? Send him to the torture chamber. Um, he they ain't got nothing but property. But let old girl have done anything improper, even though the king ain't slept with her 20 years, she would be stoned to death. Didn't even remember her name. Could go out on the yard and be out there just sitting and looking at the women out there playing on the yard and see her bouncing around. Y'all have heard me say this before. See her running around, bouncing around. Who probably tell us that? Oh, that's your concubine. That's your concubine. Jaquisha. If anybody got that name, please forgive me. That's your concubine, Jaquisha. I want to see her in my chambers tonight. He ain't seen her in 20 some years. He don't remember her name, don't remember nothing about her. She ain't gonna be in the she can't go into the king's chambers and talk about her story. So my, when I was growing up, I went to yeah. Take your clothes off. Why you think Vashti was so disrespectful? You don't summon me because you drunk and you want me to come parade around for your friends. And come up in there, you got no conversation with the king. You got to listen to the king talk about his life. Oh wow! So you're telling me about the last concubine that you just had. So what happened with her? Wow. She didn't know what she was doing. It's probably because she was a virgin. But okay, what happened? Oh, you had to get somebody to pry you out from the part. Yeah, that's a different type of virgin. Mm, mm. That sounds painful. I'm glad you healed. I really am. Did you get some therapy behind that? Oh, take off my clothes. Oh, okay. And then when this is over, what do I do? We'll talk when it's over. When it's over with, you like try to have pillow talk with the king. It's really interesting to see you outside of your robe. If you have a bird chest, come take her back to her room. No, you got king. You got a bird chest. It's okay. You ain't gotta have no hair because this is progressive. And your robe make you look like you built out. And last time I your your robe made you look like you had some muscles, but yeah, you ain't really have nothing. But it's okay. It's okay. And I ain't know your head was shaped like that outside of that crown. King, I'm surprised that crown fit on that joker. I'm just telling you. But you look cute sitting on the throne. I'm not saying that you ugly in here. I'm just saying on the throne, you look like a different person. Like, off with her head. Sometimes, I they're like, take her back to the chambers. Take her back to the concubine's chambers. And while they taking you out, hey, excuse me. Wait, stop pulling me. Stop pulling me. I just want to ask you a question. The last time it was 20 some years. Okay. Don't let it be 20 some years again, because yo, eunuch dudes, they ain't got nothing. Did you know they cut them people? Oh, how did I know? Don't no, forget the take her to the torture chambers. Sometimes people will pursue you for a closer relationship with God. I remember a man telling me that a few years ago when I talked about that story one time. I was at the washerette. That's when I decided to get a washing machine and dry. Literally after this incident, I decided to get a washing machine and dry. I was living in Conyers. This was back in 2015. And this guy, I went and dropped my stuff at the washerette. That was my thing. I went and dropped my stuff off. I was on the phone with a brother in Christ. And he was a brother in Christ that had a lot of relationship problems. So I was giving him advice, right? I'm on the phone with him. I'm on my Bluetooth. And he telling me his issues. And I'm like, dude, it's clear you like most dudes. Your problem is you can't see outside of flesh. And you don't understand that stuff gonna wither, it's gonna drag, it's gonna die. I'm not saying get somebody you're unattracted to. Make sure you're attracted to the mind, because that's what you got to live with. So I'm on the phone talking to him. I put my comforter, because it's the only thing I used to put over there, because we had washing machines at the apartment I was living in. We had washing machines and dryer. We had a set, our own laundromat there, but my comforter was too big, so I had to go up to the laundromat up the street. I went, dropped off my comforter set and everything, and I saw the man up in there, and I could tell he wanted to get out of his seat, but thankfully I was on the phone and I moved real quick, right? Because I know how to avoid a man when I don't want to be pursued. If I don't want to be bothered, You basically just avoid eye contact. You keep acting busy. You keep your back turned. You make sure your body language says, I'm busy, and you move quick. You get up out of there. Do not make eye contact. It's over from there. He's going to get out of his seat. Okay? So I leave there. I go straight to Walmart, which is my norm. I'll go to Walmart, do a little bit of shopping, and I come back to get my comforter. He's still in there. He decides, okay, forget it. I'm still on the phone. He decides to get up, and I'm carrying my confidence. I think it was other bedspreads or what have you. He was like, can I? I was like, no. Because he asked me if he could help me when I came in the first time. I was like, no, I got it. And he was like, no, you wouldn't let me help you the first time. No, he can't grab stuff out of my hand. I'm on the phone. I'm like, he was like, no, let me help you. I was like, okay. So we get in the parking lot. He helped me. I was like, thank you so much. I appreciate you. He was like, you got a man? I was like, no. And I tried to scare him away. I did. I tried to scare him away. I said, I've been married and divorced twice. I thought that would make him feel like, oh crap, this is trouble. It didn't. He was like, oh. So he wanted to talk about that. And then I gave him my number. After I gave him my number, because he was pursuing. He was a heavy pursuer. I figured I'd give him my phone number, and I'll just kind of explain to him like why I couldn't talk to him, because he wouldn't take no for an answer. And I could tell he was the type of person that when you give your phone number, he's gonna call you right there on the spot. So I can't give him a wrong number. So I made the mistake of giving him my phone number. But right when I gave him my phone number, I literally thought about it. I was like, wait, where are you in Christ? What's your relationship like with Christ? He was like, I believe in the man upstairs. I mean, I don't gonna say I'm religious or nothing like that. I said, you're not my husband. He was like, wait, what? I said, you're not my husband. I said, I don't want to waste your time. So it's better if you, I told him pretty much it's better for him not to use my phone number, because I'm like, I don't want to waste your time. I don't like wasting people's time. I don't like my time being wasted. So he was like, how do you know you can maybe help me with my relationship with him? I said, you the man. You're supposed to lead me, not me. You lead you. You the man. I'm not supposed to lead. Long story short, he called me a couple of times. I was regretting to give him my phone number. And he called me the first time he called me. I think I managed to start getting the benediction process. Then he called me drunk. He was like, what you doing? I said, I'm listening. Why is his voice slurring? I said, you drunk? I said, you had something to drink? I ain't drunk. I had a little bit. I said, I am so not for you. I don't mean no disrespect. I am so not for you. And I said, I respect you enough not to waste your time. Honestly. And I respect myself enough not to waste my time. So you mean to tell me, and you can help me get credit? No, sir. Y'all better stop with these Build-A-Bear projects. You can't fix nobody that don't fix themselves. Do you know how hard it is for you to fight your own flesh? I can't fight yours and mine. We can't. It's too much work. You're supposed to kill your flesh. I'm supposed to kill my flesh. And then when we come together, we got dead flesh and we got living spirits. Sometimes people will come after you because of that. And can I throw a bonus in here? Then I'm gonna let y'all go. I know this has been long. Sometimes people will pursue you because of your anointing. For those of you who have an anointing on your life or what have you, I had to put that in there. Sometimes people can pursue you because of your anointing. Sometimes people can be intrigued with the gift or the grace that's on your life. I think about some of the ladies that go to my church, some of the women that are beautiful and single, and they're ministers, elders, or what have you, and they're at the altar and they're praying and they're casting out demons or what have you. Sometimes people are intrigued by that. Sometimes they're intrigued by that. So for those of you who are anointed, understand that sometimes people can pursue you because they like the anointing on your life. Maybe they want the same anointing, right? They feel like I should have that anointing too. They feel like I should have this too. I should have that too. So sometimes people will pursue you because of the anointing on your life. Now, the list that I just gave you, please understand. I'll put that one as number 13. The list I just gave you, please understand that again is very much like sex. Once you get what you're pursuing, it dies. If a person pursues, you have to understand that marriage was never designed to be centered around your desire or your plans. Marriage should always be centered around your relationship with God and your assignment. My assignment, my marriage, I can't marry somebody just because I'm physically attracted to them. I have an assignment in Christ. And if I marry somebody because, and I've been there, done that, okay? All right. And I learned that demons got, it's some good looking demons out there, okay? The people like demons, but demons like to use people. Their favorite outfit is an attractive person, okay? That's just what it is. Sometimes you have to understand that sometimes you can get into a relationship and you don't know why the relationship failed. And the relationship failed because it was not built on the right foundation. The relationship failed because the person saw something attached to you, a benefit, something that they wanted to get. It's just like a man that's just dealing with lust real strong, and you walk by him and he looking, you got a badunkadunk, and he thinks to himself, "Oh man, I bet that girl can do this. I bet that girl can do that." He got that on his head, and he starts sexualizing you and fantasizing about you. He can pursue you for that. He can pursue you for that. Think about Amnon and Tamar. That's his sister, but he started looking at his sister, and there was something that he wanted. Obviously, it was sexual. He started having sexual fantasies. He thought he loved his sister, but he talked to his friend and confidant servant or what have you. And the guy tells him, "Hey, listen, play like you sick. Tell your dad to send Tamar to the room and feed you, food made from her own hand that she cook and feed you, and then take it." And that's what he did. And the Bible says the minute that he slept with her, the minute he raped her, he hated her. Some of y'all are confused that whenever you get into a relationship, it's like he strongly in love with you. He strongly, like he wants you. He pursues you heavily. And then one day he ghosts you. He ghosts you because he got what he wanted, or you put a boundary around what he wanted. And can I get you free from this? Stop doing stupid stuff or going into sin or lowering your standards, lowering your self-worth, trying to keep somebody around. The goal is to run the wrong one off, not keep them. I had to say that to the ladies because for whatever reason, we were trained in our brain. We had the older women, girl, you better hold on to that man. No, I will buy those poppers. To my, the little poppers. My brother used to throw them things at my feet. Around the 4th of July, they had these little poppers. They throw and they pop on it. I will buy poppers and chase to do it out of my life. Pow, 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 run, 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 run. Because at the end of the day, if it's not going to work, I don't want to waste my time or his time. Y'all don't know time is valuable. And at the same time, you will never respect peace until you tap into it. And you got to tap into peace outside of a relationship. And when you tap into peace, I'm going to tell you something. Whenever you get to that place called a peace that surpasses all understanding, you will avoid all drama. I ain't got time for no toxicity. I'm not going to be stressed out. I ain't been stressed out for 9 years. I ain't had to sit up and try to figure out what nobody at for 9 years. I ain't had to cry into my pillow for 9 years. I ain't had to be depressed for 9 years. I'm not trading that just to have a man. No, there has to be a man who's intentional, who died to himself, who loves and fears the Lord, who loves peace just as much as I do. And that's why you got to pray, Lord, in the name of Jesus, Father, send a man, let him love peace just as much as I do. Not somebody who think the breakup, the makeup, we gonna fight and then we gonna make sweet love behind it. I'm gonna traumatize you and then I'm gonna come and apologize. Then I'm gonna traumatize you again and I'm gonna come and apologize. Then I'm gonna stand in front of you and say, you made me do that. I didn't mean to cheat. I would have never cheated on you if you hadn't done that. Nor you cheated because you wanted to. Period. If it's in you, it's in you. It's gonna come out at some point. I just I just had a moment. We had a fight and you said some mean things to me and I said some mean things to you. And I just saw her and sorry. I will officiate your wedding. If you need a pastor, I'm an elder. I will officiate your wedding for you. It won't be to me. You know why? Because I like my peace. No, I take that back. I love my peace. Because I love my peace. Some of you, the reason you find yourself in toxic relationships because you don't know what peace feels like. Trust me, when I say this, I've been there before. I grew up not knowing what peace felt like. The first time I ever felt peace that really blew my mind was when I went to a church of my choice, that what the Lord chose for me. When I walked into a church and when I went to the altar and they prayed for me, and the first time I felt out in the power of God, that's the first time I felt peace. And I will never forget that moment because I remember laying down on the floor thinking to myself, I don't want to get up. This feels too good. I remember when I walked into that church, it was peace. Like it just felt serene. It was like, what is this feeling? It was foreign to me because I didn't know peace. I was always living on edge. I was always living for, okay, what's the next traumatic moment? Who about to do this? My guards. I had to grow up with my guards up. And God gave me 9 years of not having to do this. 9 years of not having to fight. 9 years of being able to lower my guard and live in peace. You think I give that up? I can have 18 kids, be 18 years strong in a relationship, and a man started doing with trauma. Nope. Peace is more valuable than any relationship. I said that out loud. Ooh. Oh, peace is more valuable than any relationship because I'm no good if my mind is not healthy. I'm no good to you if I'm stressed out. I'm no good. If I'm struggling, I'm crying, and I'm frustrated, I'm sad, I'm depressed, or what have you. I'm no good. I'm not there anyhow. Y'all can get quiet. I know we've been on here for a while, but I promise you, this lesson has helped out a lot of people, and it's gonna help out a lot of people. The Bible says, where peace don't abound, dust your feet and seek peace and pursue it. If peace leads you in the opposite direction of the dude or the woman you chose, you better leave that dude or that woman and chase your peace. Because that's one thing that will help you to become creative, to tap into your authenticity, to do everything. I'm gonna tell you something. You get in a relationship and it's toxic, you'll be distracted. Like you won't have the energy, the effort, or you won't even tap into the creativity to that you need to do all the things God told you to do because you're always dealing with the drama. Who is this one? That is not your cousin. Don't try to play with me. That is not your cousin. I'm not dumb. I'm not crazy, and I'm nowhere on the spectrum. Don't play with me. That is not your cousin. You you always jump to the conclusion. Anybody got time for that? So I'm saying that to say, know what it is that you're being pursued for. Because if a person is pursuing you for any of these reasons and anything that's outside of God or purpose, it's not going to work. Because once they get it, and they can get it 5 years later, please understand that. Because I know sometimes you hear this kind of stuff and your mind goes to, well, yeah, I get that, Tiffany. And I know you said number 8 was a place to stay, but he's been living with me for the last 8 years. He hasn't left. He got his income tax a couple of times. He could have easily left and moved out. No, it's easy to stay with you. Why would he leave? Thank you, Sister Kathy. Why leave? It's easy to stick with you because you don't have many standards. And the women that he's interested in, they typically have standards, meaning their standards are pretty the equivalent of a price tag. Their price tag says that they cost a lot, and he's not willing to sacrifice that much because he belittles women. He doesn't see women as anything valuable because of what he went through growing up. So he doesn't have a way or an understanding of the value of a woman, and he definitely doesn't know the difference between a woman and a wife. And so consequently, he will stick with you because they cost too much, but you cheap. I don't be I love y'all. I don't want to come on here and talk to you. I don't want to give you cotton candy. I don't want to I don't want to sit you down, and I don't want to lube up the conversation so that you can feel a little bit better. I got to give it to you real and raw. I got to give it to you. You follow me for this reason, right? I got to give it to you real and raw. Because I could come and I could do the nice way. I could do like, somebody with the five graces, apostle, pastor, teacher, evangelist. I could be evangelistic, or I could be pastoral, and I could say things really nicely. I could come and say it really nicely. Oh, no, sweetie, it's okay. You're better than that, okay? Or I could tell you, girl, he used you all the way because you had no standards. You allowed yourself to be cheap and easy. So you know what? He came in and he did what he did, but you can't get mad at him because you let him do it. You let him did it. That man ain't put you in no corner, hold you down, took your clothes off. You did a striptease and took your own clothes off. You gave, you saw the red flags. The red flags is what the Bible calls the way of escape. God gave you the way of escape. You decided not to take it. You hit the elevator. You nope, nope. I'm taking the elevator down. I'm going all the way down into the pits of hell. I'm going all the way down into misery. Because you know what? I think I can lift him up. I think because I've been on the top floor before, I can take him and I can get him out and I can get him acclimated. If I can get him on this elevator and I can show him life from my point, if I can show him peace, if a person is not used to peace, hear me, they're addicted to drama. If they're not accustomed to peace, they're addicted to drama. That's what they've been doing for the last 15, 20 years. They're addicted to that. It produces a chemical in their brain. They're addicted to that. Take somebody who's addicted to that kind of stuff and bring them into a peaceful environment and watch them create chaos. Because people will always create the environment that they're accustomed to. Okay, you like peace. Have a peaceful house. Bring a relative in your house that's always in drama. See what they do. They'll find a reason to start a fight because your atmosphere, the thermometer of where they live is set to drama. They literally have to have cortisone in their cortisol in their belly. Is it cortisone or cortisol? It's one of them's medicine. But they literally got to be stressed out. Their adrenaline has to be on cloud nine, or they got to be on cloud nine effect. Like they literally don't know how, they cannot live outside of all of those chemicals in their brains being elevated. They don't know how to have, y'all can't tell me you don't know people like that. They don't know how to live and have relationships without those elevations. They can't have, what you doing? Nothing. They can't have that. That's why they'll love bomb the crap out of you. They're the best lovers in the beginning. They'll give you up, they'll look you in your eyes and all of that stuff. Because right then and there, you're fueling that high. But once you get into the part of the relationship where everything levels off, if you don't hurry up and do something to get them high again, and your lingerie ain't gonna work. If you don't get them high, if you don't wrap a belt around their neck and try to choke them out, and then tell them I'm sorry, you just made me so mad, and they be like, baby, you ain't have to choke me like that. They gotta have some toxicity going on because they're not accustomed to their brain having just normal brain waves. It has to be firing off. That's how their mind works. Because when you're living and you've lived in drama and trauma all of your life, it rewires your brain. Do the research. So there are people out there that you can't be a safe, sound woman. They can't handle that. Sorry. I gotta keep it real with you. For those of you who doing evangelistic dating, they can't handle you bringing them into a quiet space. You cleaning up the house. Your house ain't cluttered and your house ain't demonic. They can't handle that. They don't know what to do because they'll get bored. They'll get bored. Like, I don't know what to do in an environment like this. Ain't nobody yelling at me. Ain't nobody emasculating me. Ain't nobody cussing me out. Ain't nobody, ain't got no bullet wounds. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I ain't got hit across the head with no skillet. I don't know what to do in a situation like this. So they will create drama. And they'll typically tiptoe into it to see how you react. And then it'll keep escalating from there. They don't know how to be in relationships where something ain't broken. because they like that. They like when you shoot them and come to the hospital and hold their hand while the doctor says, we've managed to stabilize them, ma'am. And they look over at you. Baby, I'm sorry. Sorry. You did what you had to do. I'm sorry for putting you in that situation. I'm going to cook you chicken soup. The doctor says you can't eat nothing heavy, but as soon as I'm able to cook you some food that will probably take you out, like there's some heavy food, I'm gonna load you up. I'm telling you, I'm gonna cook for you real good. Baby, calm down. No, I should have shot you. I was aiming for your leg. I ain't mean to hit your inner thigh. I'm sorry. Is it gonna work again, doctor? Well, we're trying to reconnect everything to make sure that, because he's probably gonna be impotent for the next 3 years. I'm sorry, baby. Sorry, we'll make it work. He's used to that. He likes that. You know why? Because you're still sticking there. That's what rejection does. Rejection makes people feel good for them to do something bad to you, then you stick around. I don't know who needed to hear that. That's what rejection does. It makes people feel wanted because they feel like if I can hurt you and I can dog you and you stick around, you really love me. And that's because they're used to being abandoned. And so what they do is they drive people out of their lives because they're so accustomed to being abandoned. And whenever you start walking away, they say, see, I knew you didn't love me. But if you stick around, they open up their heart a little bit more. Babe. No, don't talk, baby. The doctor said you need all your oxygen. Put the mask back on. Oh, just go to sleep. Try not to go into the light. Doctor said that you coded one time. Can't have you leave. I don't want you to leave me now. Ain't going nowhere. 3 days later, we'll be able to release Tyrone, but he will have to have round the clock care because the bullet, it went into his scrotum. I'm sorry, dudes. I'm sorry. And it shattered. It exploded in one of them, and it kind of knocks him. So the doctor said that, looking at the damage, he should still be able to get an erection. It's just going to take a few, just a little bit of prodding, but you should be able to recover your dude within the next 3 months. He should be back active. I won't shoot you no more. I got rid of the gun. You ain't even got to worry about that. No, we need that gun. I know you're going to. No, I gave it to my sister. Go get it. I trust you. 6 months later, he back in the hospital because you didn't shoot him. You pistol whipped him. Because he's used to that. Trust me, I grew up in a family of trauma and drama. I got family members. They don't know what to do outside of drama. They think drama is love. They think drama is love. They literally have to beat each other up with their words, talk crazy to each other, stab, shoot, and drag each other. They didn't come back together talking about something. I want to have your baby. They're drunk off of the chemicals that their brain produces and all of that stuff. They're drunk off of the chemicals that their brain produces. This is why they do that. Bring them in your house and see what happens. The only argument you have in the morning is with your goldfish. You can't eat every day. Go back to the bottom. Every time I come in this living room, you coming to the top of the water. Your house is boring. Why is it so boring in here? No, it ain't boring, baby girl. Problem is you like trauma. You like drama. And that ain't what this house is about. He said, why you telling my past? I love it. Your beta fish, right? Just be up in there. You can't eat all the time. Talk to the beta. You aggressive. That's why I can't bring nobody. I can't even give you a girlfriend. You supposed to be mating. You ate her. So I'm sorry. You supposed to be mating. You ate her. It's too calm. They don't know how to do, because it is possible. And I'm getting ready to go, y'all. I promise. It is possible for your brain to get addicted to that stuff. That's why you have to have your single season. You got to chase God. That's why he says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. God has to literally, this is why he said, I got to give you a new heart, a new mind, because that old mind is wired wrong. It's been so addicted to drama, and it feels like it's a drug, and it needs that drama. And God said, let me give you the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. Let me give you a new heart. Let me give you a new mind. Let me rewire you. So I just want you to chase me. Don't chase nobody else. I want you to chase me. Don't chase nobody else. I want you to chase me. This is God talking to you. I want you to chase me. Don't chase nobody else. Just chase me so I can rewire you. I can change you. You may not think I can, but I can. I can change you. That way you can enjoy a healthy life and a healthy marriage. And you won't bring up your kids in trauma. Because if I can get you to a space where you love peace, you won't go back into sin. Because you realize sin cost you a whole lot. Right? Be transformed by the renewal of your mind. God said, let me have time with you. Let me show you my will for you, not your will for you. Because how long are you going to keep doing what you want to do before you realize that you make an awful God? How long will it take before you realize that your way ain't working? How much more trauma do you need before you realize that you keep going down the same old pit and you ain't coming out with nothing but trauma? But I had an orgasm in the pit. But you know how many demons you picked up when you did? Sure, you played R. Kelly, you had fun, you had all of that stuff. But you broken. You got to get to the point where you pursue God until He acclimates you with peace. When He gives you the peace of God that surpasses all understanding, you are then ready to date. Because anytime somebody comes in that threatens to take your peace, I'm telling you right now, you will run like the road runner. Because you will love the crap out of your peace. And you will come to realize that drama and trauma does not equal love. Reconciliation after drama and trauma does not equal love. Love is when you can sit there and traumatize yourself by not giving in to your flesh, allowing your flesh to be killed just so you wouldn't hurt the Most High God. Notice I didn't say you wouldn't hurt me because you wouldn't hurt the Most High God. If you hurt him, you'll hurt me. Sorry. If you hurt him, you'll hurt me. If you have no fear of him, then guess what? You're not ready for a relationship. If you have no fear of him, you're genuinely not ready for a relationship. All right, I told y'all this is going to be good. I'm going to let y'all go. Do me a favor. If you haven't liked and shared it, be sure to like and share. This was our Wednesday night lesson on a Thursday. I love y'all, and we shall talk again soon. All right. I'm waiting on him with the benediction. All right. Love y'all.